our shows.
We'd
Unless,
love you if you didn't suck.
yes,
We won't love you
just
either
like
way.
what is it?
I know, right?
SoundCloud. SoundCloud, you
We were
gotta
just trying to be
yeah,
nice.
you gotta pay for an account on SoundCloud to get your shit saved.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's one track. You got 3 hours. You hate the cats? What'd they do? Got you all tangled up, huh?
Yeah, I can't like go.
He's short corded. Oh
Lover
shit.
boys like that. That'll teach you guys for talking about my cotton balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? She's like, fucking my balls, show my balls live on camera. Here's what you get. Now you got no fucking wire.
Sorry, Tony, you're the only one I can get right now.
Right? It's you wonder how they do that, Tony, without having fucking thumbs, right? They have no thumbs.
We don't need no damn
They don't
thumbs.
have that type of thought process, but they somehow manage to tie a knot.
I'll leave it tangled.
I don't know. Cats
Yeah.
are
It was like
cats are pretty
It
vindictive
it was
little
pushed-
creatures.
It was like stuck behind something. Like
Ah.
it had been pulled back.
Gotcha.
Mine has a thought process of waking me up in the morning with its teeth on my
Oh, yeah.
heel.
Yeah.
So seems pretty smart to me.
This
Yeah.
sounds good. It looks good
Yeah.
to chew.
I
Yeah.
saw a video. I saw a video yesterday of a chick. She was telling everybody, "Listen, when I go in the bathroom and I do my hair with my towel on my head, the cat jumps and sits on my head." No, everybody's saying no, it's bullshit, it's bullshit. She fucking recorded it. Sure enough, she's sitting there. She's brushing her teeth. The cat's sitting there. You can see him just off to the side, waiting. She does her rinse. Or I mean, she spits. She comes back. She grabs the rinse. All of a sudden, the cat goes floop, up on her head. She's like, "Nobody believes me."
Now I got it.
YouTube.
Now I
She
got it on
does this.
camera.
She grabs the cat. What? We're still. You got to be fucking kidding me. Well, we're back.
7 minutes in.
7 minutes into the show. Huh.
That's the
That's
earliest.
the worst. Yeah, that one was the worst. So for all of our listeners, just refresh your page and you'll be able to get back into the chat room. I'll have to go over to the Facebook and put a message on and let everybody know that the first one is 2 minutes long.
Dos minutos.
I'm actually just going to delete this one.
It's crazy. It's getting worse and worse. Earlier and earlier.
Yeah, that's the earliest it's been. I mean,
The other one was 20 minutes in, 24 minutes in.
that's when
It was averaging 24 minutes in. We made it to 7:06 and 52 seconds today. Yeah, well, they're supposed to come out here and finish their diagnostic tomorrow. And they know I fucking broadcast lot. You know, the dude asked me, "You making money at this?" I'm like, "Bro, I wish. If I was making money at it, you really think it'd be in my garage?" And I'm like, "What difference does it make if I make money?" "Well, if you're making money at it, you have to have a commercial account." I said, "Yeah, there's one fucking snafu with your commercial account process." He's like, "And that is, you have to have a commercial
Building.
in
Yeah.
order for you idiots to come in and run commercial internet."
Mhm.
"Oh, I didn't know that." I said, "And you work for Bright House."
These are the people you got working for you. You don't know. You
Right.
should have a commercial account. No, you
Right.
can't. Not here.
Yeah, it was quite amusing when he said that. I'm like, "Why? Are you gonna?" Wow.
Something.
Yeah, no, I just turned down one of the mics and it made a huge difference in that back noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was.
That one.
It's the one with the fuzzy black ball.
I don't know why. Don't know why. But anyway, so we're 12 days from Christmas. Everybody get their Christmas slobbing done? You did? You done?
eBay.
Yeah. Timmy's like, who am I gonna go Christmas
Yeah,
shopping?
who am I gonna
Yeah,
go Christmas
I'll buy myself a fucking cup of coffee in the morning and call it a day.
I bought everybody
Wait.
one thing because it was my first Christmas as a family kind
Timmy
of thing.
says it's just another Thursday. Really?
right.
It is?
Well, me, Kaylee, and Adam, yeah, it'll be our
Being
first Christmas
together,
as a
gotcha.
family. And
Well, then that's a special
with my
thing,
family's kind of being all split up with all the family problems I got going on
Right.
and all the family problems he's got going on,
which I can understand.
we're staying home.
Yep, I can
So
understand
everybody
that.
can come to us.
Absolutely, I can understand that 100%.
So everybody got
Yep.
something small. Next year, it'll be all about my kid. Don't buy me shit.
Yeah.
I won't buy you shit.
Yeah, because I got a screwed up family too. I haven't talked to my sister in years. Yeah, she hasn't even acknowledged her niece. I mean, Maria, you have siblings, right?
Yeah.
Just tilt that down a little.
Cock
There
it
you go.
down.
Cook it down.
Yeah.
You have siblings, sisters.
Yes.
They They have kids. You got nieces and nephews from them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you were fighting with your sister, you
Mhm.
wouldn't disrupt your relationship with your niece, would you?
No, I still talk to my niece. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean,
There's
you know,
just too many ways to avoid having to see the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, video chat.
well, you know what? I mean, it's understandable living so far away. Like Maria, same instance. Her family's up in Pennsylvania. You got nobody down here. You're like me.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, his family. That's all you got down here.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me. Michelle, her family. That's all I got down here. I got nothing. Friends? Psst, what friends do I have down here? I got no friends down here. I got a bunch of people I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't even like you.
Right. enough said. I
Acquaintances.
can't stand none of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you go on Facebook and, you know,
Random.
80% of them are actual acquaintances. They don't ever hit you up other than maybe 4 or 5 likes on your page a
Right.
year.
Exactly.
Oh, your kid's cute.
Mhm.
She's so big. Yeah, because you haven't liked her in, you know,
You
any of her
haven't- right.
pictures in 3
You
years.
haven't seen her or talked to her. And well,
God,
that's
she's
like
gotten so huge. How'd that happen?
life.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Facebook. You'll see her fucking grow.
Yeah, exactly. My brother, for instance, the first niece, the first kid in the family. The kid had the kid. I was the first one to have kids in the family. He first words at it. What the hell was that? Oh, you hit the mic.
It sounded like
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
thought someone was,
the
like,
Kraken
sneezing
coming
or
out or
something.
something. No, you
Yeah.
hit the screen on the mic with the headphones, and it went like
Yeah,
kinda
probably.
like the Kraken coming out of the ground.
Crackhead.
The Kraken,
Oh.
no crackheads here, buddy.
No.
Yeah, I don't allow them in my fucking house.
Not at all.
Yeah. So enough said with that. We'll move on. Yeah, I know. I see you getting frustrated over there.
only because it's slow as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they decided to send me another one for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, John. How are you this morning, sir? I didn't even
I did
realize
faster
he had
on my
made it.
phone.
Yeah. Oh shit! Why didn't this refresh now?
I don't have a message.
I don't have anybody in chat.
have
I don't have
anything.
anything on Spreaker right now. What is going on, John? I don't. Can you hear me, John? Message me on this message board here. Now I got it. But okay, I got it now. I don't know why.
I still don't got it.
I don't know why.
You don't have what?
I don't have chat.
Refresh.
No one's.
John's
no
in the chat
messages on
room.
chat.
Good morning,
Yeah,
John.
John,
How are you?
yeah.
he hears us.
Yes,
Yes,
he hears us.
yes.
Yeah.
So we had 7. What was it? 7 minutes in, John. She dumped on me, so I don't know what happened. But we had the technician coming out tomorrow to finish his diagnostic.
A diagnostic.
The diagnostic.
Does the maintenance guy know? that
The
he's
maintenance
coming?
guy's a fucking loser. We fired him.
Okay.
Oh wait, that was me.
Yeah, see, he would make sure.
He's like, I wasn't paid anyways.
He's like, if I could not hear you, I would text you.
Yeah, he would text me on my phone and say, "What the fuck?" Yeah, he's done it a few times. Be like, "No show today? You're killing me."
Replay.
Yeah. Sorry about
Are
the
you still
replay
playing-
yesterday.
Nope. I'm tucking my
Look,
feet
I'm
under.
putting a fucking board, a
Tucking
wall
the
up
feet.
between these two because they're like playing footsies over here all
Well,
day.
he
She
keeps
keeps-
sticking the tip of his toe. Look,
That's
we
what's
all
wrong
have
with you.
desks.
They're
I sit
tangling
just
the
like
wires
this.
over there.
Well, me
That's
and
what
Lou
it
are the
is.
only ones that share a desk.
But I'm just sitting and my feet do not move.
He's
You're the
got
one
all that
kicking
damn
me.
desk, Lou.
You're the one kicking me.
I know, and he sits in the corner.
Yeah.
I sit in
He's
the
got
corner.
that whole
all right,
desk.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
He's
take
like,
this
"Listen, I'm
microphone,
King
put it on this
Tut.
side so he can.
This is my
I can
corner.
sit this. I can
So you can
this
sit
way.
that way.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
take
good.
this
I don't wanna
monitor
look at you
and put it
anyway.
over
Good.
there, over that
Good.
way.
Enough said.
Sit in your fucking corner, okay? It's a good thing these computers are holding me back.
Put him in the bathroom.
Oh, but then that would give her the back of his head for a target.
For what?
I don't know. Whatever she feels like throwing at the back of your head.
Spitballs.
Right?
She's got doing nothing.
You guys remember doing that in school? Because I used
In
to do that all the
school?
time.
What are you kidding me? Me and my mother and my sister started a spitball fight in fucking in the.
Oh no, you didn't do that shit in my house. My
It
mom
was
would
an
have flipped a
all-you-can-eat
nut.
buffet. We did it. We were out in public. My
Oh yeah,
father
we
got
did it
out and left.
there.
Yeah.
My mom didn't care if
Sizzler.
we did it there.
Oh,
Sizzler. Love Sizzler Steakhouse. Oh,
Was that West Babylon over there?
I don't remember. That's how long ago it
Lindenhurst?
was. I don't remember.
Sizzler has been around for
was-
years.
It was late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, all right.
I don't remember where. I know it was Sizzlers, and I know my mother started it off the salad bar with the sunflower seeds. She shot me in the head. It hit me, landed in my plate. No big deal. I didn't say nothing. I go on to eat my food. All of a sudden, I bite into a sunflower seed. I was like, ah.
You tasted
All
that
right.
one
One
sunflower seed.
I was like, all right. Okay. That's when all hell broke loose. My brother, my sister, me, my mother, my father got pissed off and walked out. He's like, "Are you cut? Would you cut it out? You're embarrassing me. You guys are." And I mean, he got louder. Finally, he got up and walked out.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, he
I
did.
do that
He
sometimes.
went and he waited in the car until we were done. When we got in the car, he bitched us out like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that."
And that was the last time going to Sizzler.
Probably.
like, "We ain't going
yeah,
back."
Probably.
And you know what? You ain't going to Disney World either.
You know, I can't even find the YouTube broadcast right now of us. I'm looking so I can get that up on the Facebook page. There is some weird shit going on with this system. I got to tell you. I
I
am
don't
going
know.
to
It's
have to
Friday the
rip it
12th, not
apart.
Friday the
Yeah,
13th.
I know. What the hell is going on? We're broadcasting. I have the damn freaking, link and everything right here on this computer.
December's like, you got that wrong. We're gonna make it Friday the 13th.
Yeah, enough said. Enough said. We got one person watching us on YouTube, so they found it okay.
It's not me this time, so
Yeah.
whoever it is,
Okay.
hello.
Yep. Hello.
Unless it's Tony.
It's
Oh,
not me.
and whoever went and
It's not
checked
me.
out the Nobides ad for the diabetes injections, I thank you because you made us money. I got the report today, and we made a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Going and checking out
Yay.
the offer. And like I said to everybody, that's all we ask. Just inquire.
When's
Give-
payday?
When's what? Yeah, right.
When do I get my peanut?
Well, we figured it out. Everybody gets.
Are
$2.
we boiling those peanuts?
$2, $2, $2, $2.
You got your coffee, baby.
$2 no holla.
Yeah. I gave you
If you want
beans.
that ground, you get half.
Right. Got to charge you. Got to charge you.
It's not free.
Today, in about 40 something minutes, we have Derek Cross going to be on. He's a native Chicagoan who went to Texas, and now he's doing all sorts of crazy shit with the hemp plant.
Being awesome.
Yeah. So we're talking oils, we're talking ropes, we're talking clothes, we're talking converting
Things that
oils.
completely can sustain us.
Exactly, from one plant. Hempcrete, you name it, man. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Yeah, but I wonder how hemp rope would do in salt water.
Hemp rope is what rope was made out of originally. So I mean, I guess it does pretty good. Some of them ships are.
Yeah, I know, but
You know
how
what I'm
it
saying?
does in the water.
You should try that out, Tony.
We should try that out.
Have a little Mythbusters thing
Uh-huh.
going on here.
What do you figure? Who's gonna touch it if we tied it onto the buoy right next to the boat? Nobody's gonna touch it and dangle it in the water.
No, I meant dragging Charles with it.
He's saying putting that
Ah,
stuff through some
That's
damage.
what I mean. It's supposed to be really strong.
You
right?
would-
Yeah, I see.
So-
You
You would
want to
have to
rig
think-
You have to ask him.
rig a boat with it?
You have to ask
Yeah,
him.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk to him. See what
Well,
happens.
because they say, growing, I guess pot or whatever, it just a few acres of that actually grows quicker than growing an acre of trees.
Mhm.
Where it takes like 40 years for an acre of trees, it only takes like
Did you know that they planted? Remember we were talking about the hemp plants that are planted outside of Chernobyl to absorb the radiation out of the ground. The hemp plant processes the radiation and gives off beautiful clean air.
oxygen.
Yep.
We take your
They've
shit.
taken
give you
they've taken
fresh.
soil readings when they planted the shit, and then they've taken soil readings as it was growing, and the levels have gone down. After who was it that told us that? Do you remember?
I think it was that guy at the Canna Crush event.
That's
I
right.
can't remember his name.
Hayden.
No, it wasn't.
Fowler?
It wasn't Hayden. It was the one that was the farmer. Remember, there was the farmer.
Yes,
And then
okay.
the other.
In the
Yes,
Dell?
the guy with the
He was a-
hempcrete.
No.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yep,
Was he the
that's right.
farmer in the Dell?
It was the farmer in the Dell.
Yeah.
But yes, I remember. So he was the one that told us about
He
that.
read the book.
Yep. And I seen
Was
it
it
on
Donald?
the
Somebody?
internet.
No, seriously. I
Yeah,
remember.
no,
We
I
have
could go back.
We have
yeah.
I
it
was
written
there.
down.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know.
Yeah.
I know we were all there. That's what's cool, and I really that was a cool past events. That's what I'm gonna go. Oh, I wouldn't have Canna Crush up there.
Probably
There's a lot of
not, yeah.
food
I
products
don't
you can
know.
make from hemp.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Tons.
Why is it
Milk,
crazy?
milk, cereal,
Crazy.
waffles.
Butters,
Salads.
breads,
Crazy.
candies,
Yeah.
cookies.
we just met you.
It's crazy.
Sorry,
More importantly, you can make cars. You can make
all sorts of
houses.
shit. But my
Paper.
biggest thing is the buildings.
I had
We
paper
could
made
start
out of
building
elephant
houses
poo.
out of it. The R factor, just like what we were talking about. That guy, he was the one who was talking about it up there at the Canna Crush event. the R factor, and the R
Mhm.
factor is that's the scale they use for the insulation. The
I think
density
we
of
need
the
to put our
insulation.
$8 together and just go buy a farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
I think we'll with
Can
our
we use that
$8.
advertisement money
I
to do
think,
that?
I think if we take the $8,
Do we have enough?
we might be able to get a Happy Meal
Okay.
and split it
Ooh.
all
Dollar
up.
menu.
Enough
Hello.
said,
2
right?
things each. That's
Yeah,
it.
nice. See, the woman with the plan. It's usually the man with the plan.
I'm
but
straight. I'll just take a snack size Oreo
Right.
McFlurry.
The size of her, you give her 3 French fries. She's
Right,
probably
yeah.
full.
Yeah.
This one's
I'm like,
tiny. little one.
I'm
I don't know. Can we
cramping.
even see her on camera? Hold on. Let me see.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You
she's
know
there.
her.
There she is. Okay, yeah. Look at her. Yay! But in the PIP, look, whoop, the PIP. I have to go easy with that. With my
Yeah, okay, quit.
You have to pee
Quit-
what?
yeah, quit putting in my ear.
Your
Um,
peas are damaging.
My PIP is broken. So
Uh,
I'm getting over this cold. I can feel it all being loosened up in my
Mm.
chest, and it's a beautiful.
Isn't
thing.
that the worst part of the cold?
Well,
Is
I
it being
got-
loose and you
dude,
just hacking up phlegm?
I'm used to that. You guys see me gacking every morning. It's because of post nasal drip. I got that
Mm.
all day long, every day. You ever hear me do that?
Yep.
I'm clearing my throat because it's there. It's ready to drip. So
My grandma hates that when you do that.
Michelle almost
and then
left me
spit it.
over it. Tell you a funny story. Michelle almost left me over it. You ask her. That was one of those things when you meet somebody that just make you nuts.
Can you knock it
You
the fuck
keep
off?
on doing,
Yeah.
keep on doing. I can't help it.
She'll tell you. Ask her about it. Ask her the clearing of my throat. That little noise that I make. That
It's fucking annoying. Can
Yes.
you stop it? Yeah,
She
I'm
was-
sure.
it was-
I could see her doing that.
Yeah.
Me and Mish were talking about
absolutely.
it the other day, and I actually had a boyfriend that did. I guess your kids like to pour all their corn and shit into their mashed potatoes.
oh hell yeah, man. They
Well,
get
I
that
got-
from me.
Major OCD when it comes to my food.
Really?
Yeah, I can
We
eat chilies
keep
and
it separate.
stews,
Alright.
Keep it
but
separate.
when you
Yeah,
cook
I'll-
me chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans, my shit better be separate.
You're like that. You're one of
That's-
those.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
see,
think
you
it's a
get-
Pollock
She's
thing.
one
You got to
of
come eat at
those.
my house, boy. You'll get a fucking plate. You won't even. You'll
But
be
I
afraid of it.
actually-
What the hell you
there's-
eat?
You'll be
there's-
afraid of
I
that
like
plate.
I like the vegetables in my mashed potatoes.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't like someone else to do it. I want my shit separate on the plate.
You too?
I will put it there myself.
You
if I
want to do
it.
what you want to do with your food.
Oh, I would have fun with
Because
these guys.
sometimes
I'd just be it there with.
no, listen.
I'm making
Sometimes I
it-
put it in the mashed potatoes,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes I like,
Eat it.
depending on the vegetable, I will take the vegetable and
Scoop it and then scoop it.
the mashed potatoes with it.
Oh, see, I don't
depending
even
on
do
what
that.
it
A
is.
little bit of mashed potatoes,
Uh.
couple green beans, some cube
My
steak.
niece is
you're
like
good.
that. My niece, if she'll, and she's
I want to
anal
taste the
about it.
different shit.
Well,
You will
because
taste it.
sometimes I will
Not all munched
I
up
will
together.
eat one thing at a time,
Whole new
Mhm.
flavor, Jimmy.
depending
Whole
on
new
what
flavor.
it is. Now, I will turn the plate to whatever it is I'm gonna eat.
No shit,
Like, yeah.
dude. I am fucking.
And he'll do like a Happy Meal. He'll eat the French fries first.
really. My niece
Air
is
five,
just
Tony. 'Cause
like
I'm
that.
the same way.
My niece is just like that, guys. If her food is touching, forget it. Me
That's so
being
retarded.
me,
It all
we're
goes
at
to
the
the same
barbecue with
place.
their house, and we're making everybody plates, and I'm
Well,
like
I mean,
this.
Yeah.
And she's looking
Yeah,
at you
On top
like,
of everything.
Yeah, just slop it all in the
Like
middle and let it ooze
Thanksgiving,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, right? Oh my God, she just looked at her plate with disgust. And Anna, her
Looked like a
mother, goes,
plate of
"Lou,
vomit.
I'll make hers.
Bleh.
I'll make hers. Don't worry." Finally, that's when I realized because she's drawing lines.
I'd have looked at you and been like,
on
Uncle
the
Lou.
plate. Yeah,
No.
she's making lines on the plate, keeping her, doing that.
No.
Oh yeah, I was like,
Well, see, I'm
Gotta-
not
Oh
that
my-
bad.
Orders for it.
dude, I would purposely go over, grab her plate, and shake it, so it all mixes back together.
I
She
just
would
don't put
freak.
enough on there that I can touch. And see, I'm trying not to do it with my kid because I don't want my kid to be like that.
Yeah,
But they
that's
kind of make it easy
funny.
for me because all her plates come separated.
I know what I'm buying you for Christmas. Same thing I'm buying her. The little portion plates with the 4 little.
My kid
chambers
has
in
that. They're
them.
awesome.
Yeah. The
I'm
little
like, why don't
trays,
they have these for me?
Yeah.
one big one?
They
two,
don't
three
have-
little ones.
No, they don't. But see, sometimes they don't have the right
They're not
portion
big enough for
sizes.
me to
Yeah,
eat
no, no, no.
Certain things, it's like
no way.
Those dividers are taking up a lot of space.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think the divider for like the vegetables is just too
That's
large.
what I'm
You
saying,
need to
man.
smallin that down. Give me more room for meat and potatoes.
Well, yeah. See, I do the opposite. I put the meat in the small little containers because I'm not a very big meat eater, and then potatoes and vegetables and all this shit in the big openings.
I see you're opposite. You know what?
Yeah.
Chinese restaurants, why they give you so much rice, right?
Mm-mm.
Because actually, it's a custom in China that you eat the meat first. You eat all the
Yeah.
meat and vegetables first, and
And
then
then
the
you
rice is
rice.
supposed to be a
Mhm.
filler.
Mhm. Okay.
So
That I didn't know.
Well, because the meat is more
important.
important than eating the rice because you just throw out the rice.
Did you ever
Yeah.
go to a Japanese restaurant? Have them cook in front of you.
The
Oh,
hibachis, yeah.
Hibachi.
You notice that the meat comes before the vegetables. Vegetables go on the plate last most of the time.
That drove me nuts
I never noticed that.
because I always eat my meat like last.
And they fucking
Yeah?
load up those vegetables.
See, I'm that one guy
They
that
kill
sits
it
at the
with that.
table
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
wait for
I'm
them
not a
to
rabbit.
get done cooking all the way.
I'm a
Then I
carnivore.
take my
I'm like, what
plate,
the hell did you
mix
put
it
in?
all
What
up.
is that? What is that?
These are canine
See, I do
teeth.
that too, though. I'll eat my meat last. If I go to a
Really?
steak restaurant, I'll eat everything else first.
No shit.
Yes.
See, I'm sitting at the Japanese restaurant.
wanna
waiting it for
enjoy
all
that
to be
steak
sitting
now.
there.
I
Yeah,
wanna enjoy it.
right.
I
That's like
wanna
the
enjoy
best
just
part
the
on the
steak.
thing. It's like, and you always take
save
the
it for
small
your
bites of the
dessert,
meat
you know?
too, so you always have that last bite.
You know you're gonna be full, so you have steak for dessert.
That's it.
Yeah, see, I don't know. My parents, when we were growing up, they had the freezer in the basement type thing. We had steak, chicken, steak, veal, pork, veal, steak, meat every single night. My parents were meat and potato kind of people. I can live without meat. I really could. I could go without eating any chicken, fish, any of that. I could live on tofu and vegetables very easily. I just think of the weight that I would lose. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna start.
Well, see,
Johnny,
that's the weird thing. I just got a high metabolism.
Johnny, if you're listening, if this is one of those seconds that you tuned in, I think it's workout time again, buddy.
Let's hit the gym.
Yep. It was wicked. He did it from
The
New
gym
York.
is that way.
I did it down here. I was working out down here. He was working out in New York. He says, gagging the fuck.
Where's the gym at? Is it that way? No,
Boy,
it's
we got a
that
lot
way.
of
Is that what
chat
your
it's
going
boyfriend
on.
does every day?
No, he likes to take selfies, and he's got like this
It's
itchy
like-
shirt problem. So
Like Transformers. I just put that
He says he's been. He says he's been.
Bin pal. Okay. Well, I know you jump in and out. Got work to do. He's a busy man. He's like, today's Friday, buddy. I ain't busy doing nothing but me. Yeah, well, I was choking before. Yeah.
what
And
were you choking on?
my own spit, unfortunately. It'd be different if I had
Gross.
something in my mouth to choke on, but yeah, unfortunately, it's fucking my own spit. I don't care what you say with
Okay.
that one, but
All right, whatever you say.
yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm just talking about food or something like that. You guys' minds are in the gutter. I just don't know what you're talking
They're
about.
in the gutter. Everyone's mind's in the gutter.
Yeah, well, you know. It's Tony that started it. He's the one.
Man started.
He's like, wait a minute, damn it, I'm trying to drink my fucking coffee here.
Want to wear it?
And then, no, that's why I stopped. I'll wait. And upset. No, I got 3 monitor protection here. Actually, it's 4
I'm
monitor.
telling you, I'm gonna go
protection
get one of
because
those SWAT masks with the thing.
I'd
I'm
be,
gonna get some windshield wipers put on that bitch,
I'd be getting it the worst.
I said that. Yeah.
or
you'd
hire
be
a
wearing
bum to
it.
just stand in here with some Windex and a paper towel.
You guys missed it, but he almost got Maria good. He got the fucking the old mic stand pretty good. I left it on there for nostalgic sake. The coffee
Mhm.
bits. It's over there. It's still on there.
It's decoration.
I don't know what it was, but he just went like this. I said something, and that was it. You see his face turn red. Coffee was coming out of his nose, and then all of a sudden,
Couldn't hold it.
well, he swallowed most
Because
of what
then
he had.
said
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. It was
And
quite a
it was
morning.
it was too much.
Yeah, it
It was too much. I couldn't stand it.
I
Depression,
couldn't
yeah.
hold it back no longer.
You should have just spit it back in your cup, but
Oh, it went
You-
back in the
It-
cup.
most of it did, yeah.
You-
But there
you
was that,
reacted
you had
accordingly.
overspray. It was like being in a paint booth. There's always overspray. Oh, look at this! I got 2 things to review on my timeline here. Oh, look at that! God, that picture makes me look like I got an egghead. But we'll put it on my timeline. It's a picture of me and Michelle in the hospital when Angela was born. Felicia was 7, and Angela was a newbie.
Newbie.
Yeah, brings me way back. It's amazing looking at pictures.
Back to prehistoric
Yeah,
times.
it's amazing looking at pictures from back then. When you look at pictures from when your kids were kids, and it's just like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I remember that day. I remember this time. I'm doing this, and God, they were so great. Now they hate me.
you wonder where the fuck the time went.
I'll tell you what. 20 years with Felicia went fast when she was first born. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I got my kid. We're gonna be together forever. La 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 la. And she was, I mean, she stuck around till she was 19. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. But she got her own life now. She's doing her thing. She still lives here, but which I made her stay here. I know she's safe. The main thing. I know where my daughter comes home and sleeps every night.
I know where your boyfriend sleeps. I know where
Yeah,
you sleep.
exactly.
I know where you are.
Enough said. Yeah. So I haven't even. What What are you laughing at?
Oh,
Oh, oh
Stand
yeah.
there with a big ass
Jason.
butcher knife.
Jason. I never really got into those movies, the Jason movies, but like you mentioned it the other day on the show when I was out there, the Return of the Living Dead, the Night of the Living Dead, the Return of the Night of the Living Dead.
Love those movies.
Oh God, I love the
Oh.
original, the Night of the Living Dead. was
Black
the
and
best.
white.
The graveyard scene when it starts to rain and all the dead come out of the fucking ground. Best part. Best part. Hell
Black
yeah,
and white
especially
movies
when you're
scared the shit
12,
out of me.
11 years old. Those were some nice boobies. I mean, that was a really cool scene.
Nice movie. I mean,
It was
those
a
are nice
good
movies.
movie, man.
It was, dude. I liked it a lot, man. What is this video? This kid is all toasted, man. What is this?
can't watch that.
Letter sent to MP Phil. Yeah, well, no, I can't even look at shit like that. It's a baby that's all fucked up from war over in Palestinian country. But let's move on
Somebody caught in the crossfire.
because in 29 minutes, 29 minutes or so, we have our guest Derek Cross calling in, and he's a hemp farmer from, I do believe, out west, Texas. He's out there in Texas hemp farming, but we'll clarify all that when we get him on the air.
Right. I'm gonna ask him if everything is if it's true that everything else is bigger in Texas.
Enough said.
Okay,
Is the hemp
just-
plants bigger in Texas?
Yeah.
Because if the buds get bigger, then I'm not going to Colorado.
All my
Is-
exes live in Texas.
Yikes.
Is that what you mean? Everything is bigger. You're
So I
talking
stay
about the
away from
Yeah,
plants.
he can take it any which way.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he can take it any way he wants to take it.
Okay.
But
That would be great. You could ship all your exes off to one place.
yeah, right. Enough said. The question will be at hand. The answer is a broad answer.
We want to know.
We want to know, is everything bigger in Texas?
The belt buckles are.
Belt buckles, the boots, the chucks, the bills, because you can believe it's expensive to live out there.
The fake titties.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know a lot of
You've
people that
never
can
seen like the
afford them.
Houston Real
Yeah,
Wives or
well,
whatever?
I mean, there you
All
go.
those women are like,
You said keyword fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. I
oh well,
cannot
their boobies
stand-
are real fake. You
Well,
know?
the boobies are real fake. I can't stand some of them damn shows. I got to tell you, especially True TV. True TV's got to be the fakest shit out there. Miami Beach.
True TV
towing-
is false TV.
Yeah, it's such bullshit
The
TV.
realest thing on that show is their titties.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit
Yeah,
TV.
Right. The only thing real about the show Miami Towing
Is the channel.
is probably the trucks and the people. They're real, but the plot, the show, the story, the repos, everything else that goes on, it's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I saw the one episode where he gets like his ass kicked or something on that repo show by like some kid that knows like karate.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh yeah. And
Works at
and
this medical institution, ain't got money to
his
pay
wife
his
or whoever
bills.
the woman is in the truck goes out and kicks the guy's butt.
Yeah.
instead.
Eh.
Come
Oh,
on.
that was so real, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Good job.
it just, it should be, instead of True TV, it should be Mindless Redneck TV, because basically every country boy, and we'll put it that way, that I know loves that show. I love that show. Lizard Lick Towing. That's my favorite show.
All I've been seeing on that show is World's Stupidest.
Yeah.
You know, like the top 20, the World's Stupidest boozers
those
or
two
road
shows,
rage
the
or
world's
something like that.
stupidest whatever,
Yeah.
should get together and say
World's
the world's stupidest shit, the world's dumbest.
World's
yeah,
dumbest,
Yeah,
that's what it
they
is,
should
I'm
all
sorry.
get together and do a show about the world's dumbest TV shows. Because I mean, holy shit, man! The first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool. It's a show about repoing." Until you watch about 10 minutes of it,
Mm.
it's like, "Oh my god!"
I
Oh,
think
you're talking
I
about
just jumped
South
and I
Beach?
keep
Why
going.
I don't
Toe-
watch
oh my
TV.
God.
Yeah, well, you watched very little TV. I mean, I think in the beginning, you guys watched more TV than you do now. We sat out in the living room all the time.
I know. What happened to family time?
I don't know. You guys are like
They're like,
hermit crabs.
"Fuck
You come crawl
family
into the shell
time."
here and don't come out. 5 o'clock in the morning until bedtime. They're like hermit crabs. These two
Oh, I know what happened. Shrimping happened. That's what happened.
Ramping.
scramping.
Oh,
So
I'd be shrimping.
yeah, we'd be shrimping.
oh, yeah.
I'm actually getting over this cold, but I feel like shit still. Yesterday was probably the worst. It was all feverish and yeah,
Blah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sucked.
Bet.
I'm on antibiotics, but it's that 64-hour Ebola flu.
I think it's so funny when
Ebola.
people say
we
words.
finally beat the Crystal River Ebola.
Antibiotics.
Mhm.
Antibiotics is supposed to
Yeah.
help you. It really does.
Antibiotics.
Yeah,
There's a T there.
yeah.
Annie.
Oh.
Annie,
Annie.
ANNE, antibiotics.
Just like I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, AX.
I won't ask you a question. I'll ask.
Anti.
Yeah.
I used to have this kid in middle school that used to be. He's like, "Why you dye your hair like that?"
Listen, you have the English language, then you have the New York English language, all right?
Mhm.
And the spellings are completely different. Because if we spelled everything the way we talk, and I can't even say we anymore because I don't really talk like
It
that
would be a
anymore.
whole new language.
Holy shit, people would look at it and go, well, no wonder those Americans are all fucked up.
Utes.
Yeah, the two youths.
The two Utes.
Did he say Ute?
What is a Ute?
Yeah.
Well, see, the funny thing is, all my life I was actually raised to believe I was Italian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I'm so loud and I talk with my hands because I was actually raised in an Italian
Do you
family.
spit when you talk also?
I did. I gleeked when I had a tongue ring. I don't do it much
I
anymore.
just found out what gleeked is. You know what
It's gleek.
gleeking is? When the little bubble comes out of your mouth or a little,
Yeah, it's when that little spit comes from right eye.
yeah,
That little
the
thing.
gleek. Yeah. Like that piercing you got. I always ask people when they got the piercings, if you put water in your mouth and go,
You want to say?
can you?
Well, yeah, will
Will
it
it
shoot
come out?
out? I always
will.
wondered that.
Yeah,
I always
wondered
wondered that.
I used to do it to my teacher because she used to piss me off.
That's funny.
Oh,
She'd turn
nice.
around. Remember how your hand accidentally?
Yeah.
Well, mine didn't. I used to turn around and she'd have a big ass wet spot on the back of her ass.
Yeah, because it's very tiny. You can't really feel it.
Yeah, no, there would just be like I could have wrote my name on her ass if I wanted to.
That's
Yeah.
funny. yeah,
I
but
used
then
to-
you start gauging it, and it's like,
Yeah, right.
ah,
It's just
I know, have
spraying
you
everywhere
seen
like
some
a
of
hose.
those ones, those are
the
disgusting.
ones where they show the bottom teeth in
They
here.
put that piece of
Oh, that thing in
glass-
Poland
Where they put
That's,
the glass. Yeah.
or
Is it
Portland, Portland, Oregon.
Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon, yeah.
They're putting how people
Poland.
get plugs in their ears. They're getting plugs that are clear in their labret piercings right underneath your lip.
They're
What does that
gauging
do?
It just lets you see.
It's a gap where
through
you
there.
get to see, and it
Yeah, you can
actually
see-
magnifies
You can see
your
the
nasty
bottom
ass
gums
teeth.
and your teeth.
I got
fuck would you
shitty.
wanted that?
I got
Why-
shitty looking teeth. I
why
don't want
would-
anybody to see them any more
Why
than you
would
already
you
got
want
them.
that?
Because they're nuts.
That's
It's
That's
just
what I
one
said
more
when I
thing
saw
to
one
make
the
you go.
first time. Why
"Bah."
would you want
That's the
something like that?
style. I don't.
Well, the thing is, people
I
don't
don't
get
know.
with those too. Is if you're not careful, you can rip the skin and it'll never go back. Like I've gauged my ears
Yeah, because
before.
it's healed. That's
Mhm.
it.
Well, you can do them in certain ways, but yeah, if you go too big, you've stretched the skin too far
That's what
and
she
it
said.
won't snap back. It's
Oh.
like melting plastic. If you melt plastic and pull it, you can't melt that shit back. I
Yeah.
mean, you can into a ball, but you're not
Your
gonna be able to form
ears,
it
you
back.
can do. You just use preparation H on them. Seriously.
That's awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Put preparation H and they'll go back. It's a lot of preparation. You just take a little on your fingers, rub it on your earlobes, wherever you're gauged, and
I want to gauge my ear, so if
Well-
preparation H helps close it, I wonder if anal ease will help get it in.
probably.
Sweet.
When you took out your tongue ring, did your tongue form a bubble
Mm-mm.
on the bottom?
Mine's still open.
Yeah?
Mhm. All my piercings, other than I have my bottom belly button. I have two on my belly button, and the bottom one for some reason closed like a
Really?
week after.
Yeah. I had that same kid that asked me to learn how to fight. That kid Chad Fauché.
Oh
He
shit.
asked me. Yeah, he asked me. To teach him how to fight. I told you guys that story. He
Mhm.
went and he got his tongue pierced, and I was just a nasty little fucker. So I peed in his Listerine.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh,
That's
it
fucked up.
burns and it's
How
oh.
would you know?
Well, Listerine burns, and then it would be salty and nasty. I'm assuming because isn't pee salty?
I don't know.
I've
I've never
well,
drank
I've-
Listerine
I've
before.
seen Survivor shows, and they say it's salty. so
Tell
Yeah,
me, Yvonne, is
yeah.
it salty?
I don't know.
I saw that on Survivor.
I did.
Yeah.
They did. He did. The one dude
Must be
did.
true.
I saw that on Bear
Yeah.
Grylls.
No, Dual Survival is where I saw it.
Yeah, you can actually. I mean, it's gross. I
You-
mean, it's not sterile. I had a girl tell me one time, "Oh,
Yeah.
doctor told me that piss is
Ugh.
sterile.
Ugh.
Can't be sterile. It's all the
Ugh.
waste
It
coming
is-
out of your
It
body.
is poison.
It's waste.
poison. If you drink it, you're drinking poison.
Yeah. But if you ain't got none, I'm sorry. I'm gonna drink my poison piss.
Isn't
Yeah.
it like ammonia?
But it really is like the one guy on Dual Survival.
I mean, if you're
was saying.
dehydrated, yeah, it's
Yeah,
ammonia.
it's more of a psychological thing. Really, it doesn't hydrate you. It's the matter of being able to go.
Mhm. Rinse it out your
I
mouth.
drink my piss.
Basically, yeah.
I can officially say I've drank my pee now.
Right. Yep. Yeah. You be in that
I'm still
survival
dying.
situation and go, I drank my pee, and then it echoes.
My pee, my pee, my pee.
These
Now Tony's gonna hear that about 30 times in his ear.
No, not because you're not going to repeat it.
Well.
these survival shows.
I could if you want me to.
These survival
Is it-
shows are getting out of hand, though. They're coming out with too many. Now it's live off the land, shows that are
Yeah.
popping up left
Naked
and
and
right.
Afraid was funny the other day. You guys were watching it,
No.
folks, weren't you? No.
No.
Naked and Afraid. I love
We were
that
watching
one.
Seth
it- we were
Rogen.
watching it yesterday.
Yeah, it was with Seth Rogen and Frank.
I saw a
Franco.
commercial or something.
So
on
they
the
actually
internet
use
for it, but
stars
I
this
never-
time?
Yeah.
Is that the show where they throw people out naked?
But they were doing it as a gag. And
Oh.
they said that they were
They
out
did
there for
it-
21
yeah,
days.
they
They were
were
out there for 12
Probably
hours.
5 hours,
Yeah.
6
Mm.
hours.
Maybe.
They were in some park on out east,
Yeah,
Long
on
Island.
Long
You know what I
Island.
mean? Yeah. No,
Right down the
no
road
more
from us.
than no more than an hour's walk, no matter what
This is a
direction you go
wild
from
squirrel.
civilization. Yeah. you
Look
know?
at the vicious bunny rabbit.
Yeah. As the day progresses, they just spread more mud on themselves to make it look like they were out there. The best was the night vision.
Yes.
They just turned on the green tinge to the camera. Like
Yeah.
I could do it. I could just put on the chroma key
Yeah.
Mhm.
and green everything out. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
night vision. You know what I'm saying? That's
it-
all they did.
And everything's still like lit up perfectly. You
Yeah.
can see them, detailed, like not night vision, but you could see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just
You
regular
know,
camera, but
No
green.
shadows.
I did some night vision camera with my little video camera. And
Yeah.
it came out like you could see everything was like glowing.
The security cameras are night vision outside, but I mean
Yeah.
it's a different look than what they were doing, and you have to see it. We didn't delete it. I'll show it to you. You'll look at it and be like, seriously, they could at least do some real night vision. You know what I'm saying? Could have went out there for an hour one night
They
and
weren't
filmed,
gonna, they
you know,
weren't gonna do
20
that.
nights of fucking,
They weren't
you
gonna
know,
do that.
I know, hell no. Dude. They Discovery Channel probably asked them to come out there and do that. They're like, give us $5,000 and we'll split that. Let's
For a
make
20
this
minute-
fucking
20
yeah.
minute
Let's make
segment.
this quick, guys.
Yeah.
You know, but it was I don't know. It was all right. I like watching the highlights better of the shows.
It was more of a comedy.
You never
thing.
seen Naked and Afraid? You never watched
Yeah.
that show? Oh, okay. All right.
They just throw them out naked, and
Wouldn't
isn't
do
it
it.
normally a man and a woman together?
It is, yes.
Adam
yes.
and Eve
Yep.
out in the wilderness.
I wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
Do what? The Naked and Afraid?
The challenge for 21 days to be stuck out in the woods naked and afraid.
I wouldn't be afraid of nothing, but
Would
Oh, if
Probably
you were
stranger.
in Africa,
Look,
you'd
ready?
be afraid.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yes.
lions.
If you were in Africa, you'd be
Dude,
afraid.
they dump you in
If
the
you were in
middle.
the Amazon, you'd be afraid.
Bolivia, Colombia. It's not just the woods out back. Bro.
It ain't Timon and Pumbaa.
Borneo,
They're not saying Hakuna
Yeah.
Matata.
Mm.
You're sleeping with poisonous fucking
frogs.
bugs. Yeah, crawling around, spiders that just come down and bite you, and you don't even know you
we
got
have
bit.
that here.
Yeah, but these are ones that you won't even wake up. We don't really have those here. Oh, speaking of spiders, here
Yes, we do.
last night, I like that show. What the hell is it? See, I can't remember the name of the show. Monsters Inside Me. Maria won't even watch it. I've had it a few times on. You've got up and walked away. When we
Is
did
that
sit
where
out
they
there
get
and
like
do
the
that.
weird shit
Yeah,
inside?
the
Oh
parasites.
no!
That's not me. No, I just didn't want to watch it.
Yeah,
I couldn't
um,
sit on
I'm not
toilet
like
seats in public for a long time because I was afraid of that.
Well,
Mm.
lady got bit by a spider
And
on her
I
boob.
still don't.
Yeah, I
and
don't
by
either,
a brown
but, you know.
recluse.
Right.
We
That was
have
the
brown,
excuse.
brown
Yes, we do.
recluse down here,
Mm.
Yes, we do.
and her boobs started going gangrenous. They had to remove her boobs because of the spider bite. Because she woke up one morning and had that yellow pus. You ever get sunburned real bad and your
Yeah,
head's
yeah.
all crusty from the yellow pus that comes out of the
Mhm.
sunburn? Well, you got a bald head. That's why I say my head. But
I would know.
yeah,
Mm.
she had that leakage. It got worse and worse, and then she started smelling as it comes out the rotten flesh smell. So she finally went to the doctor, and they took
Wouldn't you see your titties swelling up in the first place? Wouldn't that be a sign?
it was
to
a black
go?
woman with ginormous boobies to begin with, so she didn't really
There
notice.
was no
nothing. She was
swelling.
just in a lot of pain. She was weak. She knew something was wrong, but it progressed so fast that the one day that she woke up, it was just she was soaked.
I don't even
So-
have no titties. That makes my titty hurt.
Yeah, it was like wow. And Michelle got bit in the leg by a brown recluse a while ago.
I was out in Alabama.
Really?
Well, I can't say it was a brown recluse. I was bit in the leg by something, and when I went over to the thing, it started to swell up. Well, I didn't know that you shouldn't pop it. I'm thinking like a pimple,
You think it's like
whatever it
ingrown
is,
hair
get
or
it the
something
hell
like
out
that.
of there.
Yeah.
so I actually popped it. And whoever it was like, "Hey, that was as poisonous as a spider. You actually probably did the best thing you could have done." And I had a black spot on my leg for about 2 months.
Did it
Oh
hurt?
shit.
Like, oh hell yeah.
Michelle, same thing. She had a black spot about the size of a quarter on the inside of her thigh where it bit her. You could see 2 white dots,
Yep.
Mhm.
and then the black spot just got bigger and bigger. Got to about a quarter. She couldn't touch it. It hurt. It finally went away. I think the doctor gave her some kind of medicine for it or something like
Yeah,
that.
mine got to
Yeah.
a
I
quarter,
know a
but I
guy
saw
got
that
he
little
got bit
black
2
head and
times
freaked
in a
out.
row.
With a brown recluse.
Yeah, he went to the hospital or whatever the first time.
Right.
They gave him medicine, whatever,
Sure.
whatever. And then a couple days later, he got bit again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's kind of why I'm so afraid of fucking spiders.
Finally, he moved from the house. It was right
Yeah.
down by the river.
You guys ever heard of a camel spider?
The big one in
In
Saudi
the,
Arabia.
in the
Yeah.
deserts, what they do,
Yeah, 18-inch leg span.
they actually attach to the bottom of a camel's stomach, and the poison that they secrete through their little fucking
Yeah.
their little nas. I don't want to sound like an idiot and call it the wrong
The
thing.
fangs.
Yeah, they're fang. There you go. I told you.
The
Long neck.
nah. I like that better though.
What
I
the
posted a
poison?
story on the page, so whenever it's just slow to come up here.
Is
so,
it?
Yeah.
Maria's like, yeah,
When
whenever
yeah,
it gets up there.
It'll get up.
When it gets
Yeah,
up
but-
there.
We're here for 2
Unfortunately,
hours, yeah.
Maria's little thing. What would you call that? A pad or a laptop? Because
Yeah, it's
you know,
both.
yeah,
Her pad top.
her pad top.
There you go.
Her
It
pate.
crashed, and I don't get it. I just don't understand. One day it's working on the internet, next day it ain't working. But I'm looking at that post, and go ahead, Maria, because this was something that I had said something.
Oh, that's why. That's
You
why I
want me to
said
read about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's gonna take me 2 hours for it to.
Okay, now I get what you were saying.
She's like, I'll just be your
yeah,
alert.
you know, the show
It'll
will
take
be
it all
over.
the way till
Yeah.
break time.
You guys will be talking on the phone with
Drag it
Derek,
out,
and
we
I'll
got
go,
10
"Hey, I
minutes."
got that story.
Do you want to hear it now?
It's that bad." I actually have audio from this. It's
Okay.
yeah. And the headline is pretty wicked, and I'll just read it. It's oldest time capsule in U.S. unearthed at Massachusetts State House. Now, apparently, it was placed there by Paul Revere
Wow.
and Sam
Right.
Adams Sr.
Yeah. I wonder if the beer
This morning,
recipes in there.
carefully removed.
Right.
A time
Yeah,
capsule
right.
was
Here, I'm gonna
originally
restart
buried
it so we
beneath
get it
the
from the beginning.
cornerstone in
Say recipe.
The beer recipes.
Beer
with
recipe
Sam
for
the
Sam
Adams.
cornerstone of the
Adams.
State House was
How much
this
hops
morning
do you
carefully
use?
removed.
Pay
A
attention.
time capsule was originally buried beneath the cornerstone in 1795 when Sam Adams was governor. The time capsule was repackaged in 1855 when the original cowhide container had deteriorated. The Museum of Fine Arts will reveal the artifacts once the capsule is opened.
We have a list going back to the original 1795. We have coins, we have Paul Revere plate, we have a number of things. The question is, what condition are they in? Obviously, in 1855, when Governor Gardner presided over this ceremony, they were still there, but that's a long time ago.
The cornerstone was discovered as part of work to fix a water leak at the State House. Secretary of State William Galvin held up a piece of plaster that was around the historic box. The good condition of the plaster is encouraging, but everyone is waiting to know how the time capsule contents held up over time.
We know that in 1855, when it was restored, there was a very humid day. We also have some notes that indicate they washed some of the contents in acid, which is, of course, a concern. So we don't know how much has deteriorated over the period of time that's elapsed since that time.
That's fucking
That's
awesome.
bad.
That's amazing.
That's
Right?
fucking
dude.
awesome.
I want that job.
Hopefully, it's not all
no.
deteriorated in there with that acid.
That
Yeah.
is
Even just finding the
badass.
capsule, that's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
that is really cool. Hell yeah. I would love to be there to see.
I
what
wish I was the
What
owner
if
of
there's
that
a bag of
state.
weed in there?
Imagine some 18. Imagine. Oh my God. They opened it up and it was like the strands called Sam Revere. You know, what I
Find a
mean?
bunch of hemp rope in there.
Sam grew some, Paul grew some. They both grew some, called it Sam Revere. That would be fucking cool as hell, though. I mean,
Right.
They'd never tell
100-year-old.
anyone.
No, hell no. They were like, nah, I don't know what you're talking
Put
about.
that shit in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Media blackout. Yeah, right. Smoke that later.
Yeah, because they haven't told you what any of the contents were. They're opening it,
And yeah.
Joey,
some
Joey, look what I found. What is it? It's a bag of weed. We'll smoke it later. Put it away. Don't tell no one. Okay.
You didn't see it. You didn't
Yeah,
see
right.
shit.
What bag of weed?
We
There
all
wasn't no bag-
heard you.
wasn't no bag of weed, man. What you talking about, Willis? We're about 9 minutes away from our guest, Derek Cross, calling in and talking to us about some Paul Revere hemp. No, I mean, hemp, call it, now I got a one-trick
yeah.
mind. Some Sam, no, it was Sam Revere. That's what it was.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck up. Go
No,
to.
Sam Adams,
I'm gonna-
Paul Revere.
Yeah, I know, but it's
Oh,
the
Yeah,
name of
on
the
a
strand of
strand.
weed that they buried. You know what I mean? It's Paul. Yeah,
Pay
yeah, oh
attention.
yeah, slick right over that bald
right,
spot
right
there.
over.
We need more
was
coffee
like
before the call.
air-
comes
uh,
in.
Yeah,
spaceship
that's
on
a
the-
good idea.
Coffee, yeah,
Yeah,
break.
before the
Okay,
call.
sounds like a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
idea.
usually we
got
break
like make sure the
at 8.
phone lines are hooked
It's
up,
up.
and working.
Yep. Okay, so watch how quick we do this. Not even a goodbye.
That was good too.
Dumped out.
I actually don't think there's coffee in the pot.
Oh,
For you guys.
thanks a lot. Non-coffee drinking. Fuck yeah. Good morning, beautiful. How are you? Yeah, you and me both. Tired of being sick, honestly. I feel better today, though. Just like you did yesterday. I feel a lot better.
Whatever you did when that first came on, it sounded like it was echoing.
When
That video,
that's
that
why you looked
audio,
over.
and I was like, I took off my
Okay.
headphones on one side to see if I was hearing it in this ear too.
Yeah, that's why you looked over. Because whenever you do that, I'll look over and
Like,
see what's what,
the-
and
you
yeah,
know, because I don't know, your monitor could have hit that that one knob over here on the side. I
it's
don't
just
know.
solo and main now.
I know, but I don't know which
Yeah.
knobs those are right there on the edge. 'Cause I don't-
I went through like 5 or 6 phones, dude, that were all junk, and I finally said I can't do this.
Look at me.
Mine's messed up. Up where?
Oh, you don't like the mascara on your eyelid, on your eyebrow, on your, like, whatever. Like I'm supposed to know.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. To where you can keep a distance. Yeah.
Yeah. You can hear it. That's what I try to back away because I hear it too.
Yeah. You. Yeah. Yep.
You're popping.
No, not even. There is a word for it. It's
Drowning
like
out.
the only way I can explain it is like an overmodulation of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't want that. I already got this deep voice. I'm scared. Yeah. He's like, I'll fix it.
Yeah, well, you were here for the 1 month anniversary, so about 3 weeks. But it wasn't until after that month you started adjusting.
We gotta get calling in at 8.
Testing 1 2. For those of you watching on YouTube, we'll be right back in. Cameras are up still. Audio with cameras are up. But we're coming back in 10 seconds. Hey, welcome back to Talk Shit Radio. We're a few seconds away. I caught one pussy trying to sneak in
Caught a
here.
pussy?
Caught a pussy
I
trying
caught
to
a
sneak in
beaver.
here.
Caught a
Yeah.
beaver.
You caught a beaver
Caught a
once?
beaver?
I caught a little white pussy trying to sneak in the studio there.
Are we
Cotton
calling or
balls.
is he calling?
He's calling. I
He's
do
calling.
believe they're on the road with his partner, so it's just a matter of time. Benny Hill style. Now that would be a good skit. Yeah, so but hey, look at that.
We have an incoming call.
We have our incoming call.
That's
That's
perfect
Derek
timing.
Cross on the line. So let's go ahead and say good morning. Derek, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, Lou. I'm doing terrific. And yourself?
We're doing excellent here. You're live with Talk Shit Radio. I'd like to welcome you to the show, everyone. We have Derek Cross on the line, our hemp farmer. And Derek, let me just start off by welcoming you again and thanking you for taking the time. You're out in Texas, right?
Yes, I live in Texas.
Right. Okay. So you have what, about a 2-hour time difference from us right now, no?
1 hour.
So you're okay.
No.
So you're not that far into Texas to where it's changed the time zones, because I know Texas.
Pretty
I'm
big.
in Central Time Zone in Dallas.
Gotcha. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to call us up so early in the morning and talking about what you do, because here at Talk Shit Radio, we are huge advocates of cannabis, the use of medical cannabis, the use of whole plant, the use of hemp. So I mean, you know, your type of profession is your industry is extremely interesting to me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're pro cannabis. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. My wife, she's a patient, not a criminal. I'm a care provider and not a criminal. Here in Florida, we are fighting the big fight.
Yeah, I've been aware of. I keep track on what takes place throughout the United States and around the world, and I saw you guys just lost by a 2% margin there.
What a joke, right?
Yeah. Was that not the most ridiculous?
Yeah, and I know I don't want to go around kicking skunks and things of that nature, but I just want
Anywhere
to say
else, 51% would be majority.
Yep.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And you know, Oregon had this last last session up there, and Paul Stanford up in Oregon, big hemp advocate, big cannabis advocate, does a lot for people and patients.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Stanford is one of them out there leading the way up in that Oregon, and now look at where they got it. Now Oregon's legal, and he never gives up. He's been an advocate for over 20 years, and you know, he's put a lot of time and effort into this for his state up there, and Florida just don't give up. That's all I can say. You'll
No.
get it next time.
Yeah, no, we
Right.
won't give up. We're not going for medical now. We're going full legalization. Screw it. We want the whole
I
shebang
think
now.
I think the whole country's going that way. It's just baby steps, and
Certainly.
I'm in just for clarification, I'm an industrial hemp farmer, and our farm is in Colorado.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not legal here in Texas
It
yet
is
on
not.
any
Okay.
level.
Yep. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. So let's talk about hemp for well, as long as you can.
Okay,
We
well,
can talk about it all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably could.
Well, that works for me.
However, I have only so much time. So,
No sweat.
okay, what other questions do you have?
I want to know, okay, first of all, what are the 3 primary uses right now in the country we live in for hemp?
Oh, well, there's several uses, but I'll just briefly summarize. Hemp, by every measure, makes more fuel, fiber, food, and medicine than any other plant. An acre of hemp on an annual basis produces up to 300 gallons of seed oil, pressed seed oil,
Mhm.
for fuel, plastics, and food.
Yep.
3 tons of high protein hemp seed meal, 10 tons of bast fiber for canvas, rope, lace, linens, and 25 tons of hurd, which is the woody core, the inner part of the plant. And I'll help break that down to you for paper and building materials.
Ah,
And the leaves can be created for biomass, ethanol, or fuel. So, with that being said, let's break it down into the plant. Now, there's the industrial hemp plant, and then there's the medicinal cannabis plant. So I want to
and they're
be able to-
completely different, correct? But they're the
they're
same family,
cousins.
right?
They're cousins plants,
Right.
right? They produce different. There's different output, like sweet corn and
Mhm.
field corn. They're corn, but you get 2 different results from them.
Gotcha.
So
You're not gonna
the
classify them as the
industrial
same
hemp
thing.
plant.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
She says you can't classify them as the same thing.
They're being
Correct.
grown
It's-
for specific.
right.
Right.
for specific
It's
products.
like a Doberman Pinscher and a Dachshund.
Sure.
You know, they're similar, but they're not the same.
Gotcha. Yep, yep. Yep.
So just for clarification, you cannot get high off of industrial hemp.
From what
So
I hear,
there's-
you can get one hell of a headache.
You can. I guess you can get a headache from smoking a lot of things
Yeah,
that you're not
true
supposed
enough.
Yeah, smoke some plastic. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah, right.
to. Right.
Even if
I
it's
would
made
love
with
to
hemp.
Touch that here in
Right.
a minute too. So this now with what's going on throughout the country, I want to make a little clarification between the 2 plants that are similar. And right now, there's been, and maybe your listeners are aware, and I'm sure Florida has had it and around the country. There's 3 different types of oil that can be produced from this. And just for clarification, the industrial hemp plant produces hemp seed oil. So that first off, that is separate. It's called cold pressed hemp seed oil. That's the stuff that I use in cooking.
Yep.
I use it on our skin, and that oil, anything made from that oil, anything plastics can be used for this. This oil can be used into a fuel. So it can basically be put without any real process to it. You can run it basically into a diesel engine. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Straight
done
too.
the
You don't have to
thing,
process it at all, like you
last
said.
year.
Yep.
I've done well, if you look through some of the pictures I sent, I have a shot glass with they have pressed seed oil
Yes.
and a wick in there, and I have the lid. That's fuel for America, safe enough to drink. So,
See, and I know a
when
little
people
something
talk
about
about-
biofuels. I did a lot of studies on biodiesel because I wanted to get into the biodiesel industry. So I found out how good that the hemp oil was for the biodiesel.
it's a cleaner burning fuel.
Mhm.
I mean, there's additives that can be used. You can use there's additives created to use hemp seed oil into the diesel engines that actually some of the truckers swear by it. Their stacks aren't even left black anymore, and they're getting better fuel economy.
Yeah.
You know, so those are things that this plant can help with. Now, a lot of people would like to say, well, you know how much hemp you need to make our fuel oil out of that? Well, if we don't start now, when do we start?
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Now
I
the
look
question
at,
I'm curious
my
is,
my dad always told me, you know, Derek, you got to look in the future. You got to look at the 5-year plan. Well, I do that in regular business in life, but I'm looking at where the United States is currently. We're the only industrialized nation that doesn't farm this on a grand scale.
Yeah.
But I look at what we're doing with deforestation. I look at where we're going to be in 5,000 years, right? This plant has been around for over 10,000 years. It's one of the oldest cultivated crops known to man, and it's one of the strongest fibers known to man. So they knew, you know, before we had all this modern day technology, the strength and the value that this plant brings. And that's what I'd like to really stress to your listeners is the value and how vital this is. Our forefathers knew it. Other countries know it. And I'm in communications with farmers around the world, you know, and I take this business really serious. And I get out there and I appreciate this opportunity to let your listeners know that, you know, there's an education process to that. And this is the first step. Is
Well,
educating
you're welcome on the
America,
show anytime
letting-
to talk about this. Anytime. That's for sure.
letting people know the importance when there's so many different uses. There's over 25,000 different uses. And back, the Sherwin-Williams actually used this pressed hemp seed oil into their oil-based paints.
Really?
Back in oh, yes, sir. And so, I mean, that's one of the oils. So there's hemp pressed seed oil, and then there's CBD oil, and then there's medicinal cannabis oil. So now the difference between all three are the way the hemp seed oil is pressed from the seed alone, and then the CBD oil is made from the whole plant extraction process, and same with the medicinal cannabis oil. And these oils have been known to reduce tumors and have anti-cancer properties, and just by even using hemp seed or hemp seed oil or hemp protein powder in your diet can help with your immune disorders.
Hemp
It can help
protein
both.
powder.
Yes, hemp protein powder, and the way you do that is so after you press the seed, you get the oil extracted by a cold press method, and then the seed cake residue that's left, the remainder of that, gets ground and processed into the hemp protein powder
I got
or
you, yeah.
flour.
So instead of it being a
And-
byproduct in normal processing, it's actually a usable product.
Correct.
Right.
So that's the other thing. The whole plant is completely usable from the very tip of the flower all the way down to the root. And
So
then I
nothing's
think I
wasted.
sent you a picture of a root ball that we pulled out,
I seen that.
and that's just one. And the diameter of that plant was about 3 inches around, or
Wow.
4 inches maybe. And so and that that actual plant with that root ball, that early in the year there was hail damage done, which broke some of our plants.
Ooh.
And this is how strong and hardy this plant is. It survived hail damage and still grew to a diameter of 3 to 4 inches around and produced that root.
Really?
And industrial hemp is also called what's called a phytoremediator. It cleans the soils, cleans the air.
We were
it can
talking about
clean
that this
water.
morning. They planted, and maybe you could tell us a little more about that when, you know, as it comes up, the use of the hemp plant at the Chernobyl site.
That's correct. They used it around Chernobyl to do the toxic lands cleanup, and that's what it'll do. This plant just draws those chemicals, and it cleans the soils by extracting all those heavy metals out of the soil. So just from a farmer's perspective and what it can do to your soils, you can go and have your soils tested before you plant this crop. Now, mind you, this is a crop that uses less water and no pesticides. So it's a completely organic process too. So it by that, you're not putting pesticides back onto your fertile soil.
So you're
And
not contaminating
um,
anything more.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
And so
now, let me
if
ask you
were
about
gonna
that.
use this crop as a food crop, you want to make sure that you get your soils tested before and after, and then you want to look at your plant matter to make sure, because there's ways of testing, different testing methods to check for the heavy metals, and you would not want to use that crop for manufacturing any CBD oil or any food product. You would want to use that maybe for the biofuel industry. So if you're a new farmer wanting to get into the business, you want to look at those things. You want to look at, is my land organic, and what will this plant do? So you might want to start out small before you go and think
Do
you're going to
your
grow
research.
1,000 acres for food. Canada has been, our friends up in Canada have been leading the way since 1996, I believe. So
As hemp providers or hemp growers? Wow.
Canada provides most of the food that comes out of Canada's, and in Europe and over in Asia are more fiber crops. So Canada's more of a food crop there,
Wow.
with the seed and the oil. And my good friend Marianne from Hemptopia up in Canada, if you guys are looking to get your hands on some hemp seed and hemp oil, she'll send it down. So go to hemptopia.ca and order.
Yeah, but also listeners,
So-
keep in mind, getting that sent to you in a state where it's not legal.
We'll
just
get
gotta
you
watch
flagged.
that. Yeah.
Hemp seed and oil can be purchased in all 50 states.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to
yes,
ask
sir.
you that. How does that
It's
work
not.
here in
It's
Florida?
not the hemp that's illegal. It's the
It's
cannabis.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah,
sell
well,
hemp
yeah.
necklaces here. They sell
Yeah,
hemp
that's true.
ropes and
Yeah.
bracelets.
Now, speaking of hemp rope, Derek, Tony had a question about the rope.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. What kind of strength, really? I mean, I know hemp is supposed to be really strong, but I work on a shrimp boat, and we pull trawls on the bottom in salt water. We use right now. We use a 3/4 inch nylon braided.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
how would
Well,
that work in salt
back-
water?
Back in the day, or early time, hemp rope was used in sailing ships, right? So actually, cannabis. The word cannabis stems from Latin canvas, So they used it for the sails and cordages on the ships, and it's a long. It doesn't rot. Since hemp rope doesn't rot, it's about 4 times. They say the tensile strength is about 4 times greater than cotton.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
Hmm.
strong.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other benefit to this fiber is, as one of my goals is to start changing the fiber industry more so here in America. I know I got a lot of friends in the industry that make beautiful clothing from hemp fibers. Okay, they can intertwine it with all different types. So you can intertwine it with organic cottons. You can intertwine it with silk. You can even the Hood Lab makes a bulletproof jacket with Kevlar. So
Wow.
you're talking man-made Kevlar
Yeah.
intertwined with
Even our
hemp,
police
and it's a
officers could be
bulletproof
safe from this
jacket.
stuff.
So
That's wicked. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So there's so many different uses and applications that could be done
Yeah.
with this, and it's my goal to get it into the hands of everyone here in America. Excuse me for one moment.
So that
Sorry.
brings me. That's okay. That brings me to my next question, Derek. What got you into this, and what are your goals? Obviously, we know we want hemp America, obviously, but I mean, what brought you to start doing this endeavor that you're in?
Okay, good question. My endeavor started quite a few years back ago. I'm an eczema sufferer.
Ah,
I have dry skin, and I used to use all different types of creams and lotions, and I was never getting the results. So I looked non-pharmaceutical method for skin repair or something like that. And then I was like on page 4 or 5. Now you'll probably see it on page 1 or 2. I haven't gone back since to look.
yeah.
But that was it, and I found hemp oil, And I was like, hemp oil. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do this. So I went and I saw that. I got it. I started applying it, and I saw the results. I mean, here we are in winter right now. It's not a cure. It's not going to cure it, but it's an aid. So it's it helps repair the damage within your skin. And let's talk about our skin real quick. It's the largest organ of our body. So we're porous. So what goes on our skin goes in our skin, and we wonder why there's an epidemic in cancers here in America with all the petrochemicals that we induce into our bodies or ingest. This is a healthy, natural oil that's got vitamin D. I mean, I don't even use skincare products that when I go in the sun, I use just straight up hemp oil. But my friends at Hemp 360, they do manufacture an actual sunscreen. And this is got vitamin D in it, which is a natural sunscreen, right?
Based
So-
on hemp oil. No shit.
With
I
that
use
being
hemp
on our
lotion.
skin,
Really?
I'm
Mhm.
able to put it on there, and I can still, I used it this morning, and I can still snap my fingers. It's an oil, it's different than a baby oil that's all that lube. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like that
I'll
feeling.
never go back to that
Yeah.
because, I mean, I apply just a little bit in the morning, and if I need to at night, I apply a little bit more, and it goes right into our skin. So
And
it's
now with the
healthy.
weather, like you were saying, you should have bad flare-ups of the dry, itchy skin, right?
Correct.
Yep,
And,
so-
and it helps with psoriasis and other skin
I was just gonna
disorders. And
ask
I know
that.
medicinal cannabis oil extract.
Yep.
A lot of people call it the Rick Simpson's oil.
Yep.
I know, and I've seen testimonies where that grade of oil with the THC in it has actually been. You can look it up, look it online, and see the effects of applicating for skin melanomas.
We have a listener right now. One of our listeners can tell you everything and anything you want to know about Phoenix Tears, Rick Simpson's Phoenix Tears, because he would have been dead a long time ago if not for it.
Yeah, and so with that being said, I'm glad he's still around.
Yep.
And is a walking testimony. So
Absolutely.
that, I mean, we don't live forever, but why can't we just live the healthiest way possible and the most compassionate way possible, right?
Yep.
So this plant has so many, and there's so many that have come before me, and all my friends in this movement have, we've all done sacrifices one way or another for this plant. And my sacrifice comes in where I'm out on the road educating. I'm into schools. I'm into the colleges, doing the criminal justice departments, the history departments. I'm on these radio shows. I'm out there in the public eye. I thank you for this opportunity too.
We thank you for taking the
appreciate it.
time because I like the education myself. I know my listeners are interested.
We need to educate.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Just like Yvonne said, we need to educate as many people as we can. And if I can, educate my listeners through you, it's just another piece of the puzzle.
Well, thanks. And when we were talking about this plant, we look at all the different things that I just mentioned, just in a brief recap, is the seed oil can be used on your skin and in your car. So
Yeah.
you look at it from a fuel perspective, and not to mention it's high in omega-3, 6, and 9, so that's fuel our body needs. And it's a completely digestible protein.
That
And I was eavesdropping on you, Lou.
Yep.
And you were talking about eating meat, right?
Mhm.
Well, this has by volume, by weight, more protein, almost double the protein than beef, chicken, or eggs.
You answered
You
my
hear that,
question.
muscle man?
Yeah, you
All
answered
you
my
guys in the
question.
gym.
Yep.
This is a
wanted to know
vegan
the
and
nutritional
vegetarian's
value.
Friend.
Yep.
It's an additional source of protein, and it's completely digestible protein. And I get people asking me all the time, well, what about corn? What are we going to do with corn? Well,
Nothing. It's
I-
no nutritional
I
value
was up in
whatsoever.
Illinois.
As
I was up
popcorn.
in Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota talking to farmers, and I was showing them their numbers. And because I know that's a good thing. Well, what about like corn and beans? I grow corn just to put in the gas pipe.
Yeah.
But when you want to look at a completely digestible protein, 1 ear of corn is about 3 grams of protein, not digestible.
Right. Yep. And
One
very.
handful of hemp seeds is about 15 grams of completely digestible protein.
Oh,
And
wow.
this is also a source that helps smooth your bowels, right? So,
Oh, no shit. Well,
want to
yeah,
talk shit? Let's talk shit.
Double
I was
So
just gonna say, no shit. Well, yeah, shit.
Good
it helps.
shit.
It helps with smooth bowels. I
So
mean,
then,
when
if I was
people are
to
bound up-
juice, if I was to juice a whole plant, just juice it down, put it in with some tomatoes and some other things, and drink it up. That is a very good daily source of my proteins, my fibers, my so on and my so forth.
yes, correct.
I love it.
And that's exactly it. And it you can. So what does this plant do? It reduces the slaughtering of animals. And
Yeah.
I eat meat, just so you know.
Yep.
But it reduces that, and it also reduces deforestation, and it also reduces the pumping of
Fossil fuel.
fossil fuels.
Hmm.
So
Now that's what I'm curious to all these people that were saying how long it takes. How long does it take for you to grow the hemp?
Yeah. What is
well,
the process?
that's a great question. Now, hemp grows, depending on, there's different, now, just so we separate the two plants, we have, it's cannabis sativa.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have varieties and cultivars for industrial hemp, and medicinal cannabis is usually strains. You know, what strain do you got? You know, these are cultivars, and there's so many different cultivars. Around the world, there's over 80 different cultivars. In Europe, there's like 40, and in Canada, there's about 30 some approved cultivars by their government, which produces under, in the EU and Canada, they go by a standard of 0.3% THC or less. And so all these products don't contain high levels or, you know, what that would get you high. There's absolutely no way that would be possible.
This is
And
strictly
then
for
as far as a food
resources.
source, you're not going to pop positive unless you consume a mass amount.
What
of-
you're saying is only specific strands will get you that THC.
Correct, and that's in the medicinal cannabis.
Correct.
version.
Cannabis sativa.
Right. Totally different than the hemp plant. There's no CBDs, no THC whatsoever, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Oh, really?
The THC is very low level.
Ah,
Very
In
minuscule.
industrial
That's
hemp.
where it comes from.
It's
Its sister plant.
0.03% or less, where most of your medical grade is like 1% or 3% to 20 some percent.
yeah, I was gonna
THC.
say.
Okay,
20,
and
yeah,
now there
yeah.
are CBDs in industrial hemp. You can extract that, and that's where the CBD oil comes into play, which is cannabidiol. It's
Yeah.
one of the components of
Which we
cannabis.
speak a lot about here on Talk Shit Radio because you know we're with Florida Angels of Mercy and we do a lot of the canna moms and you know all of that stuff. So we speak a lot about the THC and the CBDs and the different than that. But I really want to stay focused on the hemp plant because it's really amazing to me. There's so many uses, and now you got me blown away. How I'm ready to get some seeds, start growing it, so I can start eating.
Well, here's the seed I'll plant in your head. So everybody wants legal marijuana and recreational or medicinal. Put these seeds into your congressmen or your legislators or your mayors. Put this handful of seed into their head and say, I want to grow jobs. I want to grow homes. I want to grow clothes. I want to grow healthy environment. Let's grow. And here, point them to me. I have several friends within this industry that will help. And if I don't have the answer, I can get it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
talk
Yeah.
So
your
maybe we need to
congressman.
switch the
I
fight for
did
a
a
little
radio
bit.
show about 2 years ago up in Wisconsin, and there was actually a congressman there. And I showed him a shirt, and I said, so what do you think about bringing this industry back to Wisconsin? And he looked at me, and I said, this is a hemp shirt. And he smelled it, and I'm like, what are you doing smelling that shirt? I said, these are jobs. This is, you know, Wisconsin was number 2 in hemp behind Kentucky. And at one time, Wisconsin owned 70% of the hemp mills. And
Wow.
hemp left because it was a crop that you took a lot of manpower and labor to process. But now that due to modern technology and machinery, that process is like you grow it and you mow it and you regrow it is what I like to say, because it's almost that simple. You just sow the seeds and grow a future.
So now, with that said, you take it down, you use the root, everything. So obviously you pull the roots out of the ground, you till the ground, and you just throw the seeds down, water them, and let it grow again. No.
Okay, you can hand harvest and pull, the whole plant is usable.
Mhm.
However, on large farms, you would do different farming techniques. There's broadcast seeding, you can do it in rows, or
Mhm.
however, and then you leave what the benefit to your land is that for a rotation crop, you can leave after you chop it down with a harvester. You bale that up and bind it up and you take it to the processing, but you can leave those roots in the ground.
Gotcha.
If you want to make balms and salves and you're a smaller scale farmer like we are starting, you can pull those roots out and then you can grind that into powders. You can actually use it in our teas. We own Colorado Hemp Tea. We're one of the first tea companies back here in the United States processing hemp tea. So we use the leaves for that.
I like a spot of tea.
I'm sorry.
I said I like a spot of tea.
You want to spot the tea?
I do. I like a spot of tea.
Crumpets with
Maybe
that as
I'll have to get you guys out a care package.
Absolutely. You know what? That would be really, really cool, man. Definitely. Have a good day at work, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I'm at
And
school.
then you can steep our tea in the morning and get yourself going. And the benefits of our tea is help with weight loss and lower blood sugars and lower cholesterol naturally.
Nice.
And our tea is actually a nice smoky flavor blend. And when you steep it, you're not going to get high off of our tea. And a lot of people question me, well, why are you making it?
It's good, it's
I
good
like
for
to
our
let
bodies.
people know
Good
it's a
for you,
healthier
yeah.
beverage choice.
Same reason you drink green tea.
Now, Derek, I'm looking at a map of the United States. It seems like only 28 of the states are total prohibition with cannabis. Now, the other 22, would you say that all of them are cultivators of cannabis, or is it just the 4, Alaska, Oregon, Washington, Colorado?
No, there are, earlier this year, the Farm Bill included industrial hemp for higher education sources to do research and
But you have a lot of laws to go past to cultivate.
so for years, actually, there's been a lot of, like North Dakota, a lot of the other states have had it into their books. However, the problem is the separation from a class 1. So there's states that have it on their books. There's states that with the Farm Bill have covered it. But some of the colleges now that they have the ability is actually being able to get the seeds into the country legally. And so, who we talk with is the USDA, the Department of Agriculture. You know, you got to work with, I know Kentucky, Commissioner Comer, they had a little roundabout with obtaining the seeds. They have like 5 pilot programs there with their colleges, and their seeds actually got held up by the DEA. So
wow.
they
Because
talked with them. They actually were able to get their seeds released, and they had successful pilot programs here all over Kentucky. And so we have so many different. So with that being said, Kentucky, Colorado, Washington, Oregon. I know California was trying to push for it. However, there's little hiccups still here and there, but a big thing is getting the seed in. So legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the big thing.
And so like little guys like us that start out with what we have, we're able to start seed banks and grow until the borders open up and more of the laws are relaxed, or it's a food crop. It's a vital food crop, period.
Now, speaking of seeds.
So for that reason alone, there should be no conflict of interest. It should be automatic. I urge the president or any future president to just let's make this happen.
Yeah, hands down.
Don't withhold food from the American people.
Yep. we got President Obama signing these executive orders for all sorts of other bullshit. Why not sign one that's actually going to make his constituents, his people, happy?
I'm not going to argue with anything. I'm not going to speak politics.
Yeah, well, yep.
But I would only agree and urge all the presidents, all the senators, all the congressmen to look back at the history of this plant and look at the value that this plant has. I'll pass money up any given day. I'll take a handful of hemp seeds, and what can I do with that versus the dollar that once was printed with hemp fibers in it? A copy of the drafts of the Declaration of Independence were made with hemp fiber.
Constitution. Yep.
And this paper is actually 4 to 7 times more recyclable. And you don't, when you do the processing, you're not using harsh chemicals. So that the dollar is losing its value, but that hemp seeds increases in value. So I'd rather have a handful of hemp seeds than all the gold in Fort Knox.
Yeah, I guess you can make as much money as you want at that point. It's all up to you.
Well, like you said, with a handful of hemp seeds, I mean, the gold's going to run out, but with a handful of hemp seeds, you can make yourself clothes, you can make yourself a house, you can feed yourself.
Sustain living.
We talk about making a house. So the part of the plant on the inside, the woody core, the shiv. So when you break down the plant, in the olden days, they used it to use a handbrake. So after you would cultivate the crop, you cut it down, you let it dry out, and then you break down the stalk, and you separate the inside from the outside. The outside is the fiber, and the inside is the woody shiv or the core. And that's made into the papers, that's made into the fuels, that's made into
that's what they use to make the hempcrete.
You can use it into what's called a hempcrete.
Yep.
And people, friends of mine, actually a good partner of mine, Kevin Hodge from Hemp Adobe Homes, they manufacture a home that can be made into up to an R80 insulation value. Wow, what an energy saver that is.
Yeah, you know how much regular insulation it would take to get that?
Well, you know what? That's the other thing that this plant has. That out of Canada and France, there's hemp insulation, hemp wool insulation.
Yeah.
And I have it right here. I can send you guys pictures to put up. That insulation you can hold up to your nose and breathe.
Really?
So you don't have to worry about asbestos poisoning.
And fiberglass all up in your lungs and sticking in your skin and all of that.
Yeah, fiberglass is
right.
a pain to work with.
Now I'm curious, you were saying how strong it is. For like the listeners, when it's growing, could you describe like the strength? Would it be like bamboo when it's growing, or would it be?
That is, and going back to your question, how fast does this crop grow? It grows for up to anywhere from 90 to 150 days is the growth cycle. So like down in the south regions, you could have 2 crops a year.
Yeah.
I know it grows so fast. That's the other thing. Bamboo grows at an extremely fast rate, and so does industrial hemp. It grows at heights of 17 to 20 feet tall.
Wow.
Depending on the variety, So those are the other things. And people have asked me, well, I want to grow hemp, and I'm like, well, what do you want to grow it for? You need to know what you're passionate about, because there's different cultivars for different. There's fiber plants that grow 17 feet tall, 20 feet tall, and then there's lower yielding plants that are more oil plants, for food and seed and so forth. So with that being said, you really want to know what you want to grow it for first, and then there's that process. You want to know, make sure you have healthy soils and your land is,
fertile,
good land.
Now, speaking of soils, okay, let's say you walk into a farm and he's a corn farmer, and we know how evasive corn is to the soil. It drains the nutrients. Just one crop sucks out, 60-80% of the nutrients out of the soil. Let's say you wanted to switch over from corn and then go to hemp. Could you just pull your corn, plant the hemp, call it a day, or do you have to cultivate the soil, fertilize it, feed it, and then plant your hemp?
No, you just go and till it under, and then go prep your land like you would for another crop to come in.
No
When you rotate your crops, and that's another thing. This is an excellent crop for rotation. It can stay on the land forever. It replenishes the land with nutrients. So it actually uses the nutrients. Excuse me.
That's okay.
And a lot of farmers that I speak with don't recommend that you use a high level of fertilization. Now, some will say you want to get an initial fertilizer in the beginning stages. And I know I have friends in the compost tea business that can help in that on a large scale to help your soil conditions. But this plant, the reason why that root on that picture is so darn big is because it branches out and gets the nutrients. It seeks out what it needs. So,
gotcha, yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, you wouldn't have to test the soil first after you pulled up that corn?
I'm sorry?
You were saying earlier that, before you plant these kinds of plants, that you should test your soil so you're not getting
Well,
chemicals.
yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of soil conditions you have, what's in your soils, and like going back to the Chernobyl thing. So they grew this plant because it pulls and extracts all those heavy metals out, and so that crop can be destroyed, but it did its job, and over a couple generations it'll pull all that out. And I think in Japan they're starting to. They should be starting with what's going on in Fukushima if they haven't already around around the whole area.
Yeah, I posted an article about how many gallons of radiated water a day that they dump into the Pacific Ocean. We got a comment on the chat from a Scott Miller, and he comments he is a microbiologist. And last
Hey,
quarter,
Scotty, how are you?
Hey,
He's a good friend of mine.
cool.
Oh.
We put
Yeah,
four
go.
kinds of extracted marijuana oil up against pure laboratory grade e-coil. With just crude extraction of the oil, it was as effective as pure grade ampicillin diluted 2 times. Wow, that's
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
That's heavier than I know. So take his word for it.
Yeah. No, hey, I'm not arguing. I'm just reading.
Layman's terms, please.
Okay, so keep going. This experiment was based on the experiment done by the United States Depth of Health. I also used it to cure my renal clear cell carcinoma. This plant has so many different commercial applications, from medical to commercial products, and all biodegradable, and that is why it's illegal, not because it's a drug.
There are too many industries that the
that
hemp
lose. Yep.
and cannabis plants will affect,
Yeah.
and they do not want that.
Well, big oil, number one, first and foremost. Big oil would
Well, we could. I don't like to stress on the past so much as let's go into the future. But yes, I will agree that this crop was in a competition to big industry back in the day, and that was one of the reasons it became. There's so much competition when you talk in paper industry, the cotton industry,
The rope
the oil
industries.
industry, the pharmaceutical industry.
Mhm.
The men back then were a small mind. It's still today, right? They're the controlling people, the people in power and control.
Sure.
Well, I urge those people to look at what we're doing and make those changes. Why not? What have you got to lose?
Like
we've
propaganda
got
with
money.
propaganda.
Yeah.
You got everything to gain.
I was just going to say that. Derek took words out of my mouth. We have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Absolutely.
Correct.
Yep.
And when you look at people's health and you want to talk about paying taxes, well, if you got a healthy worker in the field, they're going to live a lot longer paying a little bit more taxes. And then the drain on the economy is saying, well, we got to do all this. We got all this money going to Medicare and Medicaid. We're going to have healthier people. Okay. They're not going to be a drain on society. They're going to be beneficial, healthier. and bottom line is, at the end of the day, let's be compassionate people, right? So, you know, we're not all created equally.
Yep.
We have all different ailments. You know, people are handicapped and you don't see it on the outside, but you don't know that person, you know, has problems.
Certainly.
You know, they look healthy, but
Judge a book by its cover.
they're not.
Yeah. It's
You know, you
amazing.
can be here today, gone tomorrow. So embrace life, and that's the other thing that this plant has done. And for me,
It's brought a lot of people together.
It's unity,
Mhm.
right? So we learn about each other, we talk, we reach out over, you know, I'm talking to people around the world in
Mhm.
different countries, you know, and not just, you know, once in a while, all the time. I'm in contact with people around the world.
Is that a little
You know, my
overwhelming?
phone bills are astronomical.
Does that get a little overwhelming sometimes? Always, everybody wants to learn from you. Everybody wants input. It's got to kind of, I mean, you got to be a really dedicated person to be able to just live your life around that, you know. And that brings me to my next question. You know, what is it like for you being so dedicated to it? You know, what does that leave for your own personal life?
It works.
got
We
you.
make it work. You know, it was actually last year, and I give credit to the Ryan Laughlin at Laughlin Farms. He was one of the first in America to plant the seed and get America going on a, you know, I think, what was it, 55 acres, I think we planted, Ryan planted last year.
Mhm.
And a lot of us came from around the United States to help him harvest, and we helped harvest, and we learned from one another. We reached out, and, you know, Jason Love in Colorado, he helped write the bill that got passed. So these are two gentlemen that will go down in history of sparking it up again, right?
That's awesome. Now,
and I'm glad to be a part of that, and I'm glad to do whatever I can to answer people's questions or help point people. And that's the other thing I do. I get people together. So I get these calls. Hey, do you know anybody in plastics? Yeah, talk to this guy. Do you know anybody in fuels? Yeah, talk to this guy. And so, you know, I'm kind of one of them in the center. So yes, I do get bombarded, but I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, and this program right here, after it's aired and circulated, more and more people will be able to reach out. And, you know, I do blogging, and I live a busy life.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. Now, let's say the average Joe like myself wants to become a hemp farmer. What's some things, you know, what's some advice you have?
Well, the first advice I have to say is you have to make sure you live in a state that it's acceptable. You got to live by the law of the land. So, like in Colorado and the other states that allow it to have actual a process. So you go to the Department of Agriculture, you get your paperwork and licensing, and everything's legal. You got to take those legal methods. You can't just go and grow. So we live by the law of the land.
Unfortunately.
So, with that being said, you got to make sure you're in a hemp-friendly state.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, like I said, you want to know what you want to grow it for. Do you want to grow it for paper? Do you want to grow it for foods?
Yeah, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to grow it. Give me some seeds, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it after that.
And so, like right now with the Farm Bill, it's allowing the higher education, the colleges. So if you're in a state that is allowing hemp farming, then you can work with those colleges in research and development and do pilot programs. You can reach out to the states that it's already in, like Kentucky, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, that it's already growing. You can find us, or, you know, the ones that are growing it, and it's a learning curve. It's a process. So, you know, the other thing is I want to make sure that people know that what what needs to be in place too as this industry grows is it's got to be your crop has to have the protection. So a farmer that's been farming corn and beans, they have that crop protection. So, and I know that that's being established, but it has to be established on a national level once this comes into full effect. So,
Well, you said it, baby steps, I guess, right?
yeah. And so, it's easy to go out there and throw the seeds out there and grow, but there's steps and it's a process and it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And we'll be hosting events that will get the farmers together. We'll bring farmers in from Europe or Canada and really educate the farmers and get into those deep penetrating soil questions, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask
So-
you, do you guys plan on doing any educational seminars? But obviously, yeah. Now,
Yes, we do.
any plans of coming down here to the good old boy state?
Florida.
Good old boy
Yeah,
state.
actually, I got friends in Florida that have been leading the way there too, and educating.
Well,
And
they're
that's-
more than welcome
that's
on the
the
show
thing.
too. So whenever you reach out to them, let them know. Open mic here.
If we can get into Florida and educate, I know there's quite a few of us that are out in circulation doing this education. I've been up in Oklahoma talking to senators there, and we talk about here in Texas. I mean, if Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, right? So
There's your question,
That-
Maria.
That's what she said.
let's grow some big hemp in Texas, I say.
To match your guys' big belt buckles.
Yeah, right. That's funny
Yeah.
because before you called in, Maria was going to ask you, "Is everything big in Texas?" So,
Well, when we can grow it here, yes. There's no reason why we shouldn't. So
sure.
I've made a challenge to T. Boone Pickens. You want another fuel source? Choose hemp instead of fracking. Let's plant the seed and
Yeah.
let's start reducing the toxic oils and petrochemicals and if we were to just use this hemp seed oil instead of worrying about the fuel, let's start in the small plastics market, right?
Mhm.
Well, not the small plastics market.
Any
Plastics are
plastics.
huge.
Any
If
plastic.
we can make biodegradable, non-toxic plastics from this oil, so
Which I will be willing to assume and bet that most people do not know the base of any plastic is a fossil fuel. Very toxic, very
Right.
dirty, very nasty substance. Another thing that's very nasty that people put on their face, Vaseline.
No, I don't use that.
Did anybody ever stop to read the thing? It's petroleum jelly.
Yeah,
Hence
it's
the
based
name
on
petroleum.
it's based
Yeah.
all that stuff is based on
Yeah.
I
petroleum.
don't use it on my face.
Well, I'm just
No.
saying. I mean, go easy there, buddy. That's even worse.
Hey now.
there's some
You're
good
supposed to use it
skin,
on-
skin products out there. So
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
like I said, Hemp 360 has skin products. Hippie Butter Hemp Seed has good skin products. I use hemp soap. I don't even use shampoos any longer.
They smell and make you feel
That may be
amazing.
different. Some women like to have, but all I use is a hemp seed soap, and then afterwards I use straight up hemp oil on my skin.
Huh.
But we can have these non-toxic things made
Absolutely.
from this plant.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Now, with the cultivation in the United States, do we export internationally or do we keep it in the United States?
well, Americans imported over the past couple of years over $500 million of
Wow.
hemp seed products and raw materials, right?
Yeah.
So when we grow it here, we'll be able to have that advantage to export.
Okay.
So
Derek, I got to tell you, this is actually a little more interesting. That the hemp plant is a little more fascinating to me than the cannabis plant. Yeah, okay, there's a lot of medical benefits to the cannabis plant. Yeah, okay, you can smoke it and you get high. But when you tell me, okay, that I can just about replace a source, okay, for everything that I go about in my daily usage with just one plant, that makes a light bulb come on in my head. And I guess that's basically what your
Purpose is.
is to get that light bulb to come on in everybody's head and realize.
But it's not even
Let's
about
look-
putting light bulbs in
let's look at
people's
it for
heads.
the economy. Let's talk about the economy real quick. The value of this plant. Now, we've seen the growth and how many medicinal states there are. Medicinally, there's like 22 states that use cannabis medicinally.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's now 5 that are using it recreationally. Now let's look at the jobs that's been created. It's been said that there's been over 10,000 jobs alone in Colorado for the medicinal plant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Was it like-
Overall, as a nation, I've heard numbers of over 100,000 to 150,000 jobs created in these 22 states.
it was like
because
$1.9 million in
They are
tax revenue.
decriminalizing cannabis.
Yeah.
They are allowing people to, I mean, you can call in California, you can call your dispensary
And have it
and have
delivered
it
like
delivered
pizza.
to you.
Yep.
So that just created a job, a delivery service.
I'll just take a large fatty.
Yeah. And for those of you that go out to California, know California, they have services like Waiter on Wheels,
Mhm.
Meals on Wheels, where these services, they'll go to this restaurant, pick up your meal, bring it to your house, deliver it. And they do the
Correct.
same thing with the cannabis, which
Correct.
all of
And-
those shows that you
and
see, you can see
It's
that.
creating jobs all along the way. So we look at medicinal cannabis and then the money that's been generated, the tax revenues alone.
It's created a whole
Oh
new
my
industry.
gosh, let's talk about what goes on with just
Just tax.
Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the
One
revenue that they didn't have.
$1.9 million in the first week?
It was $1 million in the first, it was like $1 million in the first week or so. Yeah.
Tax
Or
revenue.
maybe it was the first month. But they've
Yeah, I think it
generated,
might have been.
millions of dollars this year. And that's going to continue. And here's the thing. They have the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Marijuana. So they have a division. They do make sure people are on the up and up when it comes to medicinal cannabis.
But yet the
So,
bank still won't
I
deal
mean,
with it.
if you're doing something wrong that's not within the law, then you just broke the law.
Yeah.
But there's a when you look at medicinal cannabis industry, you're looking at the quality. You're looking at what's done. And then now here's the other thing. Medicinal cannabis growers and industrial hemp growers can't have their fields next to each other if it were to escalate to that. So the medicinal cannabis is actually better to be grown in and controlled in indoors where, see, if you're a medicinal cannabis farmer and I'm an industrial hemp farmer, we can't have our fields next to each other because my industrial hemp pollen will take and reduce your THC over 2 or 3 generations of that. You're going to be like, dude, my THC, you got to move, you just reduced my THC. Instead of the THC going up, this pollen will reduce it. So, I remember years ago, there was a film made by a good friend of mine, The Hempsters Plant the Seed, Diana Oliver. And one of the families in Kentucky was discussing, all the problems with all these people growing pot in the forests and everything. If you were to just broadcast seed, industrial hemp in that region, these guys are going to, they're going to get their THC reduced, and then some of their stuff isn't even going to be legit. So
that would suck.
But it's a simple solution.
I've been there. I know what cross pollination is all about. It sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, when you look at the way the plants can be grown and controlled in an indoor environment and protected, and you see this industry booming in Colorado, you see this industry booming in Washington, you see it growing up in Canada. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Then let's talk about industrial hemp. It's the multi-trillion-dollar industry. Medicinal cannabis, you can only do so many things.
Yeah, you can only go so far with it. Did we lose you? I think we lost the call.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Nope. We did lose the call. Derek, if you're listening, I'm going to call you back right now. I'm not too sure what happened.
I reached Derek.
Uh,
I'm on the.
Probably trying to get through again.
Yeah.
We'll give him a second.
Yeah, we'll give him 1 second now. Not too sure what happened there.
There we go.
Yeah, just dropped that at a phone call. And I didn't hit nothing.
Yeah, because everything else is working just
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Except for I'm ringing in both ears.
I reached Derek. I'm unable to get to the phone.
I lost him. Derek, if you are listening to the show, give us a call back. Let's finish up. I don't know what happened. I lost you in mid-sentence there.
Maybe his battery died.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
he just
possible.
cut off completely.
Yeah.
Like,
Cut off like, and it's going
Mid-sentence.
straight to voicemail now.
Yeah.
So sounds like a definite cell phone dead battery thing. I hope. That's all it is. Try and call back again. I want to at least say thank you,
Hello.
Derek.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry about that.
I'm not sure. I was just worried it
I was
wasn't a dead cell
talking,
phone
I
or
don't
something.
know where I lost you, but I'll start over. Medicinal cannabis has a billion-dollar industry creating jobs and health and wellness, and the industrial hemp has the potential for a trillion-dollar industry. So with that being said, there's so many different products that can be made from this material. Whether you're into plastics, you want to make plastic sunglasses, you can use this source, use this resource. That's what this plant is here for. It's renewable, sustainable, and you grow it, mow it, and regrow it. Sow the seed and reap the reward, right?
Absolutely. It's one of those hands down no-brainer decisions that just boggles the mind why the government still is so opposed to this whole industry, both industries. I don't understand why.
it's
Well,
lining the politicians'
the-
pockets.
It's the education that needs to be done, and it's started. I mean,
Mhm.
they're allowing colleges to research and develop, but you can only research and develop so much, right? This plant has been around for millennia,
Mhm.
and it works so well with us because it's part of our DNA makeup. And when we talk receptors, CB1 receptors, CB2 receptors, it's part of our internal. I mean, you can't change it.
No,
And people won't overdose from medicinal cannabis because it doesn't
you can't.
affect your brainstem. So
Yeah.
you may have, psychoactive dreams or whatever, but it doesn't shut off your breathing.
Nope.
So the overdoses has been, as far as I know, zero.
Yeah.
More people overdose on peanuts or have peanut.
Allergy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. More people die from peanut allergy than nobody's ever died. I mean, if anybody's ever died with cannabis in their blood, it's because they were drinking and driving or jumped off a bridge or did something stupid.
Right.
Or had a heart attack.
Right.
or-
That's not being responsible.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Cannabis was not the
So-
reason, that's for sure. Unless you took
Right. And here I would like to make this, put this out there. If I have, and being responsible, if I were to have a raw cannabis bud sitting out in the open, and I would have a handful of pharmaceutical pills. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what about the children? Well, what about the children? If my child were to go to that bud and not know how to use it or consume it, but they ate it, the only fear I would have is them choking. Now, if they took that handful of mixed cocktail of pharmaceuticals,
they're dead.
I'm rushing them to the hospital.
To hopefully
Oh
pump
boy,
their stomach
I'll
and
get
die.
choked up over that.
Yep.
But I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I believe there are certain medications that do help people. Okay.
I do too.
But don't when there's over 100 different ailments that cannabis is good for, and respectably, if it's controlled and you have some regulations on it and you see results, it's time to wake up and make the right choice.
But you feel it should be a choice we're allowed to make, right? As Americans?
As humans,
As human beings, it doesn't matter what country we live in. Certainly.
Well, of course,
The
yeah.
government shouldn't be able to tell us what plant we can and can eat or can and cannot eat.
we're the only industrialized nation that doesn't grow this on a grand scale.
which is pathetic.
Especially when one strand of cannabis can do the exact same thing as a Valium or a Xanax for
Right.
anxiety.
Right. Now let's put it
Right.
let's put it industrial, okay? The military. Let's just talk about the military. If the military switched over to sustainable fuels, okay, and moved away from nuclear reactors, it would make a huge difference. All right. What do they do? You know, I mean, what is it? Cheyenne Mountain or whatever the hell the mountain is where they hide all them freaking, or they store all the spent rods. You know, I mean, if we stopped using fossil fuels and started burning sustainable oils, then we wouldn't have greenhouse gases. We wouldn't need all these nuclear plants. We wouldn't have all of this shit that's going on in the world. They wouldn't be fracking, you know what I mean, to try and find more oil.
So that's the difference. When you're using a fossil fuel, your emissions are carbon dioxide.
Yep.
Well, when you use a natural fuel source like this, biofuels, it's a whole closed loop circle. So what your output and your input are equal. So the plant is sucking in the carbon dioxide, and then like when we use it for building applications and saving the trees, you're now it grows so fast, it consumes so much more carbon than trees actually do.
Yeah.
But if you burn this and make this into a biofuel, now any emissions go out back into a carbon form, and then it's a whole circle. But when you do it with fossil fuels, it's hard. And then you see the deforestation, and you look at, well, I like to breathe air. Nice clean air, by the way. So if we can omit oxygen from our natural greenhouses, why not, right? And the industrial hemp grows so fast, and like I said, it can produce so much, so much paper, so much oxygen. When you cultivate this crop and use it in the form of concrete or hempcrete, and using it as a building material, plywood, you just trapped all that carbon. You just locked it all in, right?
Yep.
So it helps clean our air, our soils, and if you were to grow it, like I haven't seen the real proof, but if you were to use it on the water, it would actually take those, like hydroponically, it could clean the water too. So
I've heard about that, hemp for water.
I haven't heard about that.
I believe it's Bill Worsiford or one of the elects that we had down here in Florida that belongs to this whole hemp for water thing, where they're using hemp to clean the water.
To filter the water.
So, yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. There's got to be a shift. Something's got to be done. People need to be aware. And if it wasn't for people like you, I think we'd still be living in the dark ages. People would have no idea. There's so many advocates out there. If people would just take the time and listen and react to their own feelings, never mind, and I said this before, I've said it from the beginning, never mind what I say, never mind what Tony says, what Maria says, what Tim says, what Yvonne says, what Derek says. Go out, do your own homework, read it for yourself, educate yourself, then make your assumption.
Correct. And I have a blog. It's called Hemp Healthy Today. On my blog, you can find all different aspects of medicinal and industrial hemp. So, or you can just Google. You can even just go on Wikipedia and type in hemp and start reading about it and learning about some of the things I mentioned, whether it's cultivars or phytoremediation, and you can look at the history. I agree, Lou. I urge the people to do their own education. Please, you got questions, come to me. I'll help. If you want me to come to one of your sessions, whether it's a big center or you want me to talk to your congressman, or I'll hold your hand the whole process.
Yeah,
give me a call.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, Derek, you do know that, if you ever come down here in Florida, next time you're in Florida, please give us a call, hit us up. I would love to have you in the studio, get you to get you on the air and talk live with us. It'd be really interesting to meet you in person.
I'd still love to try his tea.
Yeah, enough said. I'm definitely interested in trying some tea now.
Yeah.
And you've educated me more. I mean, I've done a little bit of research. I've listened. I've looked. With this whole pro cannabis thing that we've been involved in down here in Florida, but hemp was never one of those things because, everybody was so focused on cannabis.
Right. And we just did, my partner and I in Colorado, my partner is Grow Hemp Colorado, Colorado Hemp Coffee.
Yeah.
And she is one of the first licensed seed labelers in America.
Nice.
So the women are huge into both medicinal and industrial. I see, and I work with a team of gals who are independent and strong women, and they need to have that recognition. I love my partner in the terms that that's what she brings to the table.
Certainly.
She's one of the first women industrial hemp farmers, and her name is Veronica, and I'm proud to be associated with her. And we put on events. She's hosted events, and we've brought Alex White Plume from South Dakota. And one of our missions is to help the Native Americans on their sovereign land to be able to grow on their sovereign land and grow an economy for their own people. And
I believe your parents just chimed in on the show and said, we're Derek's parents, and he's taught us a lot. Jocelyn Cross?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mom. How are you?
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I got great parents. They've been there. I've been educating them along the way, and I know a lot of my friends. They're like, "Oh my gosh, here comes the hemp king." You know,
that hemp hippie guy. Yeah. That's all I picture. Oh, here comes that hippie guy. Want to get everybody stoned, and that's part of the thing.
No,
yeah, well, so that's the thing.
That's not it.
That's part of the
assumes.
That's exactly what it is. That's what a lot of people assume. Unfortunately, people say, "Oh, you just want to get high." No, that's not it. I want to save my wife's life. I want to eat right. I want to breathe. It's not about me anymore. I'm 43 years old. All right. It's not about me anymore. It's about my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, my great great grandkids, so on and so forth.
But the stereotype is out there about.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly it, and I appreciate my parents' support.
That is awesome. I wish my parents were alive.
My wife, my children, everybody that behind me, and that what you just said, the children, the grandchildren, and I want healthier planet. I want healthier people, and what's wrong with that, right?
Nothing.
So.
Nothing in it. If
Nothing.
anybody says anything different,
as you were saying about the cannabis plant, sorry, sir. There's a lot of people within the medicinal cannabis that need to know this, because we did the Denver Expo just last month, and we had the little industrial hemp section, and most of it was the growing, the lights, the culture, and when they migrated to our area, boy, people were educated. They didn't really realize all the potential that this plant has. And so at our booth, we're educating the whole time. And, wherever we go, hosting events, we get that word out. And, I'm proud to be a part of it. And I love the people that are with me in this venture. And every day, excuse me, I can honestly say every day, I'm educating the minds of people. And if I were to leave tomorrow, I would know I did my job.
Right. At least there was somebody out there or a group of people that you educated that now you will go on and educate others. And that is so awesome, man. I really I'm very thankful for what you're doing, because like I said, it's all about the education, and it's only going to benefit the next generations. We'll go back to having a clean earth again, clean air, and unfortunately, I know you don't want to talk politics and government, and unfortunately, it's the politicians and the government who are stopping us from living the way we.
No, I'm gonna only just say they're uneducated, right?
Exactly.
So we're making the changes, and we see that. Look at your voting polls.
Yep.
Look at the people are coming out and speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people are now not using GMOs. So people are waking up. People are understanding, and that means that the politics are being educated. They're changing. But look at the people. Look at your senators and congressmen that are in this mix now, that are standing up on that stage. They're talking about cannabis. They're talking about the industrial process to hemp. I mean, we're in it for a while. I'm more of an independent just so you know, we all have to work together. You know, the government's not going anywhere, so we have to work together and merge and unite, you know, on a
Yes, we
friendly
do.
terms.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not even the government; it's everybody working together.
Yeah, it's a united band.
That's exactly it. That's what it is.
United we
you know,
stand.
United, correct.
Absolutely. Key word.
So, well, anyhow, I don't know if you have other questions.
Derek,
but
we're
I'm here for just
yeah.
a little bit longer, and then I have to get rolling.
No sweat, Derek. I understand you're a busy man. I don't have any more questions for you. Does anybody else have any more questions? I mean,
How often do you make a trip up to Colorado to check out the plantation? I guess you'd say.
Well, we're in winter mode up there now.
Oh, so the
we
season's
only have
over.
Indoor.
Yeah.
We only have indoor right now.
Mhm.
But I'm up there. That's my office, so I get to go back and forth, and
It's beautiful there.
I wish.
No, yeah.
not as often as you wish. I hear you. I hear you. We're thinking about taking a little vacation out there here soon. My wife and I want to put the house up for rent and move out there.
Yeah, I
Well,
almost made
you
a
know,
commitment.
there's so much businesses going on out there. You can go to like a wake and bake if you want for vacation for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
yeah.
They have that, and there's
$1,200
services out there that take you all over. And I'm talking from a medicinal standpoint, right?
Yeah. Well, $1,200 you can go on a pot vacation. $1,200 per person, all inclusive.
And guess what? That money just went into the hands of Colorado.
Absolutely.
Schools.
Wouldn't you like people to come to Florida not just for Disney?
Yeah. Especially with all the controversy surrounding all the parks down here, which we won't even get into. But yeah, absolutely. You know, it'd be a really a really good change for the state.
Well, it would be good for all the states, and it's coming. We're all working that way, and I see the change happening. And a lot of people didn't think that they'd ever see it become legal or recreational, but look at it, it's happened. It's happening.
It's
so
happening
over the
right.
next couple years. Look at where we'll be, and I hope to see hemp in a field near you. You know,
You and me both, like my backyard.
right.
It's too useful of a
So-
plant
Yeah.
to deny its benefits to everybody.
You gotta look at it.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why we still haven't made it legal, is
Yeah.
because so many people would be put out of
Stand to
business.
lose.
Yeah.
Derek, thank you so much again for your time. You are more than welcome to call us up anytime, anything new, anything you want to get out there. I sent the message over to Scott Miller. You know, I told him he's more than welcome to hit us up. I'd love to have him on the show and talk about what he does as well. And yeah, anytime, man. Even if you just want to say, hey, how you doing? Still out here farming? Later.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I thank you very much. Come look me up at Colorado Hemp Tea, Hemp Healthy Today, Hemp Pharmaceuticals.
Send me
I'm
all
also,
those links if you could. I'm going to get them up on the website.
Yeah, and then there's the Hemp Humanitarian Aid Fund that we're working on, and then we're also coming together as a group, Hemp Solutions. So we have a lot of things in the work, and there's also a lot of investment opportunities for people to look at, not just myself, but other people. You know, if you know a relative that's getting into the hemp business, get that education, do that research, help out your family, help out your relatives and friends, and we can all grow a healthy economy, you know. So
Key word again is grow. I love it.
And a healthy economy.
grow, mow, and regrow.
That's right, buddy. That's right. Derek,
Grow,
again,
mow, replenish.
thank you so much. Get me those links so I can get them all up on the website, the Facebook page, everything. I'm going to definitely get a whole nother page built that's dedicated to just pictures that you can send me and links and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
please do, because if you can do that, I mean, it's not just for me, but others that we've reached can add to. And you know, like my friends, they're out there listening, and they can add to it, and we all work together. And I appreciate every follower and every friend that I have, and they keep me going in this drive. And I've made some really good friends, you know, along the way. So
Yeah,
look them
definitely.
up. Also, you can find all my stuff out on my blogs, or just grab a hold of me. I'm here. I'm hands on.
Absolutely. Derek, again, send me all that information. I want to get it all up on the Facebook page, the web page. And yeah, it's time to speak out. It's time to speak out. Anybody else that you know that's in the industry with you that has something to say, please don't hesitate to give them my information. I'll get them right on as quick as we get you on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And one of my friends, Dino, was on, and that's how I found you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yep.
Dina Ray.
Yep,
yeah.
Dina Ray. Yep.
She was on about a month or two ago.
Absolutely. She's the author, wasn't she? We've had
Yes,
so many
that's
people on. Yes. Yep. Why does love hurt so much, right? Or love shouldn't hurt.
That's right.
Yes, I remember. We have her
Well,
T-shirt. We all have her
yeah.
her wristbands all over the place. Yeah, she excellent, excellent
Well,
lady.
thank you, and to everybody out there, have a great holiday season.
You
and
too.
Happy holidays to all.
Happy holidays to you too, sir. And again, thank you for calling into Talk Shit Radio. I know you're a busy
We
man.
thank you for
Yeah,
educating
thank you.
us.
Yeah, thank you for
thanks
taking your
the-
time.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime again, once again, anytime, give us a call.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. That was Derek Cross. Very interesting. I
Very
learned a lot.
interesting, yeah,
Yes.
very, yeah.
I mean, I thought I
Mhm.
knew something about the hemp plant. I didn't know shit
Yeah, I
about
didn't
it.
know that they could do that. They use it for all of the things that they use it.
Yeah,
for.
I didn't know
You know,
nothing
the
about it.
difference between the hemp and the
It was cool about what you asked him with the rope, and I knew he was going to say something
say
about the ancient
old,
ships and
the
stuff.
old sailing and whatever. But you know, we use it underwater.
Yeah.
So
But that's even it being above water with the spray of the ocean. You
Well,
know, on the
You
sails.
need
they
water
can
and
wear-
oxygen to create rot and corrosion. Underwater, if
There's
it
no
stayed
oxygen.
underwater, there's no. That's why. Yeah. So I mean, obviously it doesn't stay underwater, but like for a sunken ship, an old Spanish
Right,
ship,
right.
if you went under, that cordage is all intact.
I see. That's what I mean. I don't know. I've never really.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm
Yeah.
just I've seen. I don't know firsthand, but I've seen some of these.
Well, like
salvage
you was
shows.
saying, the hemp can actually grow on the water and clean the water.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that it would break down if it can grow on the water.
But
Yeah,
now is
that's
that
true.
with the salt water? At
I
that
wouldn't
point, you're
assume
looking-
that it would be. I don't think the salt would kill it like that.
I just put it.
Yeah, don't sweat it. I'm going to dump the cameras. We're having a little camera problem, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the cameras, everyone. So for anyone who's, well, there's no